Yeah. Let's go. We back, baby. Heart of the city. Y'all ready? New York sports is lit right now. You already know, man. I'm in the building. Got my co-host down there. Got my co-host over there. You know what I'm saying? So we ready to go, man. How y'all doing tonight, though, man? Before we get started, man, a lot going on in New York City sports right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm fired up. Hope y'all are fired up. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? How you doing, Coach? How you doing, Jeffy, man? How y'all doing tonight?
I'm good. How about you?
Man, maintaining, man. Living, loving life, man. You know what I mean? That's what it's
hmm
all about, man. Yeah, man. So,
How can we not be happy, bro?
yeah,
Look what we
right,
got going
man.
right now in this city. I mean, come on. It's
Whole lot
all
going
it's we're
on.
as a famous rapper once said, we are on the way up.
Mm-hmm.
On the
All the way
way
to the
up.
top. Right. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
So we in there tonight, man. We in there, man. New York City sports. You already know how we get down. We cover all New York City area sports. You know what I'm saying? I'm NYG22. It's a new look for y'all. Hope y'all like it. But we in there today, man. And we giving it to you straight up. You know what I'm saying? So now before we get started, man, like I said, I always want to know how my two co-hosts are feeling, man. So before I start rambling and get into my shit, um, Coach, man, how you doing tonight, man? How you doing, Coach, man? I love the background, love the bling bling with the with the rings. You know what I'm saying? Because that's
Yeah,
what we chasing over here in New York, man. We chasing rings. Facts,
yeah.
man.
That's 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 called my dynasty ring from one of the teams I used to own. We won back to back to back. So and we was dominant when we came out. So we got a little something. So that's it.
Yeah, yeah. What's good, Jeff? You know how you doing, man? You know what I'm
Man,
saying? What's good with
I'm
you?
feeling good, bro. This is a day I've been waiting for a while. Basketball season is back. Football, I'm telling you, football. How could we not be hyped up in this city right now,
hmm
all around? I mean, it's just a good time right now to be a New York sports fan. That's all I gotta say on
Facts,
hmm
it.
man. Big time facts, man. Let me give a shout out to my chat, man. Man, my loyal supporters, man. Love y'all, man. For real, man. From the bottom of my heart, man. Levance, man. My G, man. What's good with you, man? Holding it down. My day one out here, man. In the heart of the city, man. How you doing, brother? Another one of my day ones, man. My man, big fan Breezy. I hope y'all seen that video, man. We put out, man. That shit was fire. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Me and Breezy put a lot of effort into that video, man. You know what I'm saying? Dope video, NBA preview. We covered all the NBA, man. You know what I'm saying? East and West Coast, man. So y'all definitely go check that out, man. You know what I'm saying? Definitely shout out to the missus, man. Wifey in the building, man. Saying peace and love to everybody. You know what I mean? So we good money, man. We good money out here today, man. So I do definitely want to get into y'all know where I'm going. The New York football Giants. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go there. I gotta go there. That's pretty much the talk of the town right now. You know what I'm saying? Is the Giants, man. You know,
hmm
because hey, we 5-1, man. Five
Mm-hmm.
and one. Who told
hmm
you? You know what I'm saying? We told you here on this podcast, man. Shout out to us on the panel. You know what I'm saying? And definitely shout out to the Big Blue crew, man. You know what I'm saying? My brothers over there, Big Pat, Luke, G Nation, Joe, the whole squad, hit squad, all them boys, man. What's good with you, Wells? You know what I'm saying? What's good, man? We in the building tonight, man. So let's get into the Giants, man. So the Giants go up to Baltimore and well, not to Baltimore, but to New York, and they beat Baltimore. They beat the Baltimore Ravens. Now, do I got an echo?
Yeah.
Uh,
Hope you're doing well, Wales. Vance, thank you guys
hmm
always for being here for the show.
Yeah.
all
Everyone.
right, is that better?
Yes.
All
hmm
right, so, but yeah, so the Giants go up to Baltimore, and I mean up to New York and beat Baltimore Ravens. Now, Nobody suspected us to win this game. Obviously, a lot of the so-called media pundits didn't give us a chance. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody thinks the Giants is a shit team. Now, I'm here to tell you that's false. What have the Giants been holding their hats on for the longest? Defense and the running game. That's what
Mm-hmm.
we got now. We're back to New York Giants football. Defense, running game, you know what I'm saying? We coming at you, we punching you in the mouth, straight up, no hose bars, all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the Ravens didn't like. They didn't like to get punched in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? So when we got out there, man, like you said, New York Giants football, they always get down in the fourth quarter, always get down early, but they came all the way back, man. Shout out to Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, and the whole crew, man, for making that happen, man. Now, there's some people going to say, Daniel Jones didn't really have a part of that. Now, let me tell you something about Daniel Jones. Look, man, the quarterback is a part of the team, obviously. You
Mm-hmm.
don't need the biggest quarterbacks or the baddest quarterbacks to win football games. Y'all want me to prove a point to y'all? Look at Tom Brady. How you doing right now?
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers. How you doing right now? How about Lamar, the one we just beat? 3-3. Joe Burrow,
Mm-hmm.
Russell Wilson.
Hmm.
Facts. Big
Mm.
facts.
So tell me the big name quarterback that you want outside of Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, who are basically freak athletes with lots of talent around them. Give a damn what you say. Andy Reid, probably one of the best coaches the game, in the game. You know what I'm saying? And Josh Allen got a loaded team, but he didn't get that loaded team before who? Brandon Bean and Joe Shane and Brian Dable got to Baltimore to set him up quite nicely for the ride he on right now. So don't get it twisted like Jones Daniel Jones does not have an opportunity to succeed in this offense in this program that they're building. They're building a program, they're building a system to cater to the quarterback's strengths. Now,
Mm-hmm.
let me talk about Saquon Barkley. Why in the hell would anybody want Saquon Barkley traded? You know what I'm saying? I get you didn't want him at the number 2 overall pick. A lot of us questioned that decision. Hell, I questioned it my damn self. But guess what? The man is here. He's a New York Giant. And guess what? He's another solid player that is going to help this franchise rebuild. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And we're rebuilding on the fly. You know what I'm saying? And I told you guys before on this very podcast that I think we're pretty much on track like the Philadelphia Eagles was on track last season where they made the playoffs and they just had to lean on the running game. Didn't they do that last year? Lean on the running game and lean on the defense. Ain't the Giants doing the same thing? Lean
Pretty
on the
Mm-hmm.
running
much.
game, lean on the defense. So you don't need your quarterback to go out there and throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdown passes like the Lions and lose 48-45. You know what I'm saying? You don't need all that. You need a solid team that can grind out wins and give your team what? Confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Who was lacking in confidence? Hell, Saquon Barkley didn't have no confidence last year. Darius Slayton then lost confidence. He's starting to gain his confidence back. Daniel
Mm-hmm.
Jones had some confidence issues. Guys like O'Shane Zimenez, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of Andrew Thomas went through a little issue in his rookie year with confidence. Evan Neal struggled earlier with confidence. Now these guys got confidence because of what? Wins. Winning brings confidence, and what comes with winning, you know what I'm saying? That comes chemistry and a team that can be very, very dangerous coming down the stretch. Now, one quick point before I pass it on to Coach and Jeffy. The Giants are 5-1.
Mm-hmm.
They just beat the two teams that they were supposed to lose to.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens and the Packers. Who's stopping this team now? Who's stopping them? You know what I'm saying? Who's stopping them? Who getting in the way?
And
Jacksonville? Get the hell out of here, man. Yeah, can they lose to Jack? They can lose to any team.
mm-hmm.
Don't get it twisted. Like I'm going up here saying this team is about to reel off, you know what I'm saying, the rest of the games of the season. No. Because I think our biggest challenge is in the division, actually. That's our only loss in the division so far. One loss in the division. You see how tough this division is this season.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? I don't like Dallas or Philly, man, but props to those teams. They solid. They solid. You know what I'm saying? What's good, Hit? What's good, Wells? I see y'all, man, in the chat, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll post the link. If you guys want to come up and build with us, you're more than welcome. You know what I'm saying? It's open podcast tonight, man. We ain't too much going on besides the football and basketball. You know what I'm saying? We know the Yankees won, they kicking ass, we going to the World Series. But anyway, I say that for later
And
on.
we're sitting home.
But yeah, so but who's stopping us right now? Real shit though. Who's stopping us? Who's in the way? Philly? You could argue that. Dallas, we already lost to. The Commandos, or the Commodores, whatever the hell you want to call them, please get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? So ain't nobody worried about that squad. Jacksonville, Detroit, no. Houston, no. Who's the challenge for this team right now? I don't care if we ain't blowing teams out. Who the hell blows teams out anymore anyway? This is the NFL. This is about parity. Ain't nobody going out there blowing teams out the water. So who's stopping the Giants right now with this running game and this defense? And guess what? We are not even fucking healthy right now. We ain't even healthy. We ain't got no receivers. Our edge rushers ain't all the way healthy. We missing guys on the back end of the defense in the secondary. Can you imagine if this team was healthy? Can you imagine how this team is going to be playing in December when they running on all four cylinders, when they got used to this system already? When we humming? Shout out to Lou, man. 11-6, man. Fuck it, man. Let's go 13-4, man. Go ahead, coach, man. I talked enough.
First things first. I already said it before. 15-2.
I like it. I like it.
All right, now that's a fan of me, but I mean, I get where you're coming from. The bottom line is, right now, ultimately, we can stop ourselves. All right, and I've heard everything. People question Daniel Jones. He's not throwing this. I heard somebody on that little whatever they do on Twitter, the
Twitter Spaces.
yeah, and this one dude was on there ranting. If he's starting a franchise, he would take um Hurts over Daniel Jones because he's a franchise quarterback. Number one, and my brother's an Eagles fan, and I've listened to my brother for the longest while. They have been killing that man up until this year. It's going through the same exact things. If you go look at the numbers between the two, Jalen Hurts may have 500 more yards in total yards, passing yards, but everything else is pretty close. Completion percentage, touchdowns, he has 6. Daniel has 5 interceptions is equal. I mean, you can go down the list. They're they're the same. But
Mm-hmm.
if Hertz is MVP candidate and he's a top quarterback, why is Daniel Jones not talked about? And Daniel Jones is doing it without the talent that he has surrounded him. So the only ones that can really stop this team, honestly, is this team if they get too big headed or too complacent. If they go in and they respect everybody, don't fear anybody, but respect everyone, they have a good chance of winning out all those games, man. Seriously. Because it's no one is to that level that they're just that far ahead, especially in the NFC. Especially in the NFC, because everyone, honestly, everyone is pretty much all close if you really break it down. Even Green Bay that we just beat. I mean, we beat them by 1 score. We're all that close. So, just like you said, you can't sleep on Jacksonville. They're a tough team. Just because they're 2-4 does not mean they can't beat someone. They beat 2 teams that that would have given them trouble, but they lost to Houston and forgot who the and Washington. So, they're still a young team and they're learning. But the point is you can't sleep on anyone. But if you play your game and you do what you're supposed to do, you should be fine. And one other thing that I I've been studying, all right, and one of the analysts said that in the NFL, because teams are taken away because there's not many explosive plays and the scoring is down. It's down, and I think it's lower than the record, which was 10 point something back in the 90s, and right now it's 8 point something across the league because the scoring is down. And why is that? Teams are playing a lot more too high or quarters because they're
Yep.
taking away the explosive play. So what that means is you need a running back. You need a running game. Yes, you may say this is a passing league, but defenses always catch up and they take away what offenses do. And what fans want to see is explosive plays down the field. But if you're playing a lot of too high, you're playing quarters, and you're playing back a lot, you need a running back. And what do we have? A very good, high quality running back. In the NFC East, what do all the teams have? They have good running backs,
Exactly. Yep.
all 4 teams.
Mm-hmm.
So, you could say, oh, you need an elite quarterback, you need an elite quarterback, you can need an elite quarterback. If defenses are taking away the deep passes and they're forcing you to either nickel and dime or run it, doesn't that defeat the purpose of what everyone's saying that you need? You
Hmm.
need a good game manager more than anything, and a good sound defense and a good running game. And they all have to manage and mirror each other. Simple. And that's what the Giants are doing. Everybody, I don't understand. I don't understand why they don't have the talent. They don't have the talent. They have the talent to run this
Right.
system to perfection. And that's what they're doing. And don't forget, Lamar Jackson, they were winning for 3 quarters, but come the fourth quarter, and this is one thing that I always chart as a coach. Come closing time, come crunch time, what do you do in that fourth quarter in a close game? We shut him down in the fourth quarter. His 2 series that he had turned him over. Turned him
Just
over.
like Aaron Rodgers, shut him down the
Exactly.
fourth two.
So that's what you need to do. And finally, other than the end of the half when we turned it over because we were trying to do a Hail Mary.
Yeah, that was bullshit. Not gonna put that on Jones.
No, 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 I don't put that on. And to
Mm.
kneel out the game, the Giants had 10 offensive series. If you take those 2 out, because I do take those out of the other 8, they scored on 4 of them. Field goals or not, they scored on 4 of those series. That's 50%. That speaks to efficiency, offensive efficiency. So please, Spare me with, all your rhetoric about Daniel Jones, about this, about that. Look at the whole component of the team because it's not just about Daniel Jones. It's about everything. Saquon Barkley, we kill the receivers, but they still go out there and they, for whatever they are, they still produce a little bit.
Slayton.
Exactly. Slayton Johnson, James. I mean, even Sills when need be. Our tight ends.
He's made
Everybody,
plays.
the offensive line is starting to produce much more efficiently and effectively. Jeff talks about Breida. I mean not Breida, Bredesen. And I've looked at him and he is improving. He has improved in the running game.
Didn't I say Brett? Yeah, Bredesen
Yeah,
ain't bad, man. He ain't that
no.
bad.
So I mean, Neil, for the most part, he's improving.
Mm-hmm.
He's not ending up on the ground. He's not losing his balance. He's staying. Guys are seeing you can't just bull rush this guy. And he's still quick enough to ride you out. He has long arms. So I mean, and you see what the defense is doing. I mean that one play, that what I call a hybrid amoeba defense. I mean,
Mm.
I broke it down. I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like that. And
With the three players lined up on one,
it's not even just that.
that was weird. That's
It
crazy.
it, it is
That's a
more
lot.
than that. All right. I mean, what it is he took the responsibilities of, for example, the defensive ends who were lined up in those positions. He actually put Leo on one side and Jihad Ward, who were technically the interior defensive linemen. And what he did is he crashed them in going straight for Jackson. But O'Shane Zimenez and Tibbs were the outside contain guys, and they were lined up inside right next to Dexter. And what they were supposed to do is they were supposed to flare out to take if the back went to that side, but also to help contain because
So
Lamar was not
basically, they
doing
was
that.
reading the back. They was reading the running
It's
back.
not just the back; they were reading Lamar. But what it was is it fooled Lamar because when Jihad came crashing in, the back went flashing across. The rules say that when that back flashes across as an end, you run with him because he might be the one getting the ball, and that's what Lamar was counting on. But Jihad Ward came crashing in, and if you watch it, he looks and he stops. So he's thinking, okay, I can go to that side. But you also had O'Shane Zimenez way outside, and then you had Leo, who was literally right there. And he started running, and Leo went lateral, and it took him out, and he couldn't go anywhere, which is why he ended up just falling out on the ground because he knew he couldn't go anywhere. And that's the genius of Wink. And I mean, there's more to the play. I mean, when I break it down, you'll see. But that's the heart of it. And I'm telling you, it just I saw it and I was just like, wow, that right there is pure, unadulterated genius. Because no offense was ready for that. And he knew Baltimore, and Baltimore thought that they knew him, and he threw something else into the mix. And
Mhm.
whatever you want to say for the 3 quarters, they were running up and down the field. They weren't blowing us out.
They wasn't scoring on every
Exactly.
play. That's the thing. Your team can go up and down the field all day if they want to. If they not putting the ball in the end zone, what
Exactly.
fucking good is it?
I
If
always
you
say the
got
same
500
thing.
yards of offense, but you got less than 20 points, or you just right at 20
Exactly.
points, don't
And
make no.
that's the
It's no
whole
good.
point. That's the whole point. If you're just kicking field goals or you're not scoring and you're supposedly doing all this in between the 20s, but you come to the red zone and you're not scoring, it's a recipe for a loss.
Mm.
And the percentages say more than likely you're going to lose. And for what they did, they doubled us in yardage. You should have blown us out, but you didn't. And we were right there for the most part for 3 quarters. And come the fourth quarter, what did we do? We punched them right in the face, and we took the game from them. And a bottom line is we took their heart. That's really what we did. We took their heart.
Heart of the city, yeah.
All right, Jeff. I'm
I
sending it to you,
like
bro.
it, coach. I like it though. Yeah, we took their heart.
Mm-hmm.
We taking hearts over here.
We didn't
Heart of the
take their
city,
heart.
baby.
We didn't take their heart. No. We did better than that. We took their soul.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Mortal Kombat, when Shang Tsung
Yeah.
says, "Your soul is mine," that's exactly
Mm-hmm.
what Wake Martindale and that
Yeah.
defense did to the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson. They grabbed their soul right out of their bodies and took them away over to that sideline and be like, "You're done. Go
Mm-hmm.
be
It's
bound on
a
that
wrap.
sideline. It's a wrap. It's over." But
Right, man.
you
Go ahead,
guys,
Jay.
you guys did an excellent job with breaking down the X's and O's part of it and that kind of stuff. But I'm just gonna go with short words and what describes how we all feel and how this New York Giants team is performing: resiliency, heart, grit, determination, love. And when I mean love, playing for one another. All those things put together defines this New York Giants team, this New York Giants organization, playing for their coaches. I mean, yeah, right now teams are running up the field on us. Oh, they're going from the 20 and the 20, but they know now when they get near our goal line, when they get near the red zone, they're not punching that ball in. We're either
Mm-hmm.
turning them over or we are make them settling for field goals. Right now, our defense statistically is around the middle of the pack. We actually are one of the poorest teams in the NFL in
I think
terms of
the
stopping the
offense
run.
and the defense
We
is
are.
like middle of the
We're about
pack.
the middle of
Yeah.
the pack. The defense right now, the run defense has not been good. I mean, I just
But in
checked the stats
certain
earlier.
metrics, we're better because I
And
know our
better,
red
yes.
zone defense is up there.
The
Our
the
third
red
down
zone
defense
defense,
is up
yes.
there.
The red
Hmm.
zone defense is better. In terms of the overall run defense, we are 31st in the league.
Yeah, we
But
struggling on the run a little bit.
but you want to know where one part of the defense we're really good at? Points allowed. We're fourth right now in the league in terms
Mm-hmm.
of points allowed on defense.
I'm gonna
That's
give
where
you
we're
a
getting the job
stat
done.
to go look up, Jeffy, before I let you continue. Look up pass completion percentage by
I did.
opposing quarterbacks. I
I did
think
check
we're
that
like
earlier. Yeah,
top of the league.
I
That's
think we're
why these
top seven
quarterbacks are
or
struggling.
6 or 7, I believe. We're top
Yeah, they
six or
can't
seven in
complete
the league.
passes on us.
I think completion. I think we're number one. If I'm not mistaken, I think we're
Unless
number
they
one.
changed it, yeah. Unless they changed it, I think we might be number one or at least top 4 or 5.
Oh, okay.
Not sure about the metrics completely, but we're up there definitely in that. Time of possession, we're a little bit lower, but that has a lot to do with the offense not being efficient. I mean, we are
Mm-hmm.
lower in the pack in terms of time of possession because we are on the field a lot in terms of our defense. But this team gives, you know what? They give it up from the 20 to 20, but the fact of the matter is teams don't score on us. That's when Wink
Mm-hmm.
Martindale starts unleashing the best part of his defense. And
Mm-hmm.
credit to this defensive line too. I want to give a shout out to the unheralded heroes. We can talk about Jones. We can talk about Barkley. We can talk about the big players on this team. How about we start giving credit to some of these unheralded players that are getting the job done? A Ben Bredesen,
Mm-hmm.
an Evan Neal. He's a rookie, but he's still unheralded. Julian Love, Dane Belton, Jalen Smith, O'Shane Zimenez, Jahide Ward, Nick Williams,
Mm-hmm.
Tay Crowder, Fabian Morneau. How about we start giving these guys some credit? The wide receiver core, Marcus Johnson, who I'm thankful they brought him up and signed him to the squad, deserved it. Darius Slayton, Wandale Robinson, Daniel Bellinger, Tanner Hudson, Chris Myrick. Yeah, these guys aren't popping off the stat sheet, but you know what they're doing? Their job.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting the job done. And that's the problem with football fans nowadays. They're too busy infatuated with the fantasy football side of things. They want to see their team throw up 30, 35, 40 points per game because they want to get the stats in there. I don't give a flying you know what. All I care about is efficiency, and that's the definition of our quarterback. He is efficient. He goes out there and he does the dirty work. He does the gritty plays. He makes the throws when they are there. He runs the ball when it's open. He gets it to his playmakers when they're there. That's Daniel Jones. Who cares if his stats aren't popping off the stat sheet right now? Because what this dude is doing right now is winning football games and Everybody remembers how we all credited Eli Manning for being Mr. Fourth Quarter. Guess what? Daniel Jones has become Mr. Fourth
He,
Quarter. He has the most fourth quarter wins so far in this season. Hey, everybody, Daniel Jones is Mr. Fourth Quarter. How about that? How about that, Coach NYG in the chat?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Fourth
yeah.
Quarter is Daniel
Mm-hmm.
Mother effing Jones. It's
Mm-hmm.
time. This team, they don't pop out there with stats. That's a fact. But they don't have to. Because all this team does, and they've proven, if you give this team the slither of a shot to come back in this game, a little bit of a shot like the Ravens did, like the Titans did, like the Panthers did, like the Packers did, every single opponent gave us an opportunity to come back in those games. And what did? We kicked that door down and we made them pay.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
And
Baltimore
those are the
had
games
us.
we was losing last year. You
Yes,
remember?
Mm-hmm.
exactly. That's the thing right there too. This team has started to learn how to win, and that's
How
one of
to
the most
win.
difficult things to do in the NFL is learning how to win. And the Giants, with this great coaching staff, and Coach, you did a brilliant job breaking it down on that defense that Wink Martindale was throwing out there. That Lamar Jackson and that Ravens offense had no idea what the hell was coming.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Lamar Jackson, that team, the Ravens had us dead to right last week. They had us done. But Wink Martindale threw out a defense that confused the hell out of Lamar Jackson and that offense. And sure, Lamar Jackson made an ill-advised throw. He should have not done that. But you know what? The Giants capitalized on that bad decision by Lamar Jackson. They ran it down the field. They drew penalties on Baltimore, a lot of them, including that pass interference by Marcus Peters against Darius Slayton. Hey, it's good to see Darius Slayton finally getting opportunities and him taking advantage of it. And the
Mm-hmm.
Giants make you pay. That's the one thing about
Yep.
this team is you give them shots, they will make you pay on that football field. And every single
Mm-hmm.
team should realize that
time.
now. Anytime that anybody plays us, you better finish us off. And you better finish us off immediately, because if you give us a chance to come back in that game, you're done. Because we will make you pay. And this team is taking on the attitude and the grit of their coaching staff. And we have the best. I don't care. You know what? Anybody could argue it out. We have the best coaching staff in the NFL, and I'm not afraid to say that. The best up and down coaching staff in the NFL, with Brian
That's
Daboll,
facts.
with Wink Martindale, with Mike Kafka, Thomas McGahee. Give that guy props too. He's done a very good job with special teams.
Give
And our
and
assistant coaches.
and I'll give Andre Patterson, the D-line
Him
coach,
too.
Mm-hmm.
Jerome Henderson.
Jerome Henderson,
You know what I'm
yes.
saying?
Shea
Tierney,
Tierney.
the quarterback coach. Yeah, you're right. You're on point with all that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of these coaches are very underrated. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people worry about losing Wink Martindale after the season, but guess what? We still got Jerome Henderson. We still
Mm-hmm.
got Andre Patterson. You know what I'm saying?
Ryan
These guys know
Cox.
football. Cox, yep, pause. They
Mm-hmm.
know football though. You know what I'm saying? So don't get it twisted, man. We got, like you said, the best coaching staff in the game. It
Now I
ain't
want to
just
give a
about
shout
that
out
though.
too. I gotta give a
Mhm.
shout out to some of these players too. That this fan base has been ripping a new one. Can you guys start respecting? I know we said this last week and we've said it a bunch. Can you guys start respecting Saquon Barkley now? This dude has proven to you that this guy is the best running back in football when he is
Hands
healthy.
down.
This guy is the
Hands
best running
down.
back. Evan Neal, who people are saying bust, bust, bust. He had the best game of his career this past game against the Ravens. Ben Bredesen looks pretty good at left guard
What's
now,
good,
doesn't he?
Taj? What's good, bro?
What's up, Taj? Darius Slayton. How about Darius Slayton? He looks pretty solid now on that football field.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Smith. Dexter freaking Lawrence. We all love Dexter Lawrence. Sexy
Kill it
Dexy
in,
now.
yo.
4 sacks on the season.
Hey,
Dexter Lawrence.
and wasn't they mad because he got his 5th-year option?
Oh,
Stupid.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're really mad about
Mhm.
that. Huh? Well, that guy's going out there and wrecking offensive lines right now, and he's on his way to an all-pro
Mhm.
season with the way he's playing right now. And like you
Oh, yeah.
said, NYG, we're not even healthy on defense. We have banged-up
Right.
corners right now. We're playing Fabian Morneau, and respect to him, that guy's doing a pretty solid job on the outside,
He doing
too.
what he can,
He's
yeah.
doing a solid job. Nick McLeod, another
Yeah.
guy that's been playing on the outside because he's had to play because we don't got Flott, we don't got Robinson. We're banged up at that spot. And Darnay Holmes' snaps got a little bit reduced in this past game because they were trying to play, I believe, I think they were playing the safety a little bit more than they were playing Holmes in the slot this past game.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad because Holmes was the one guy that was getting burned a lot in the slot for our team. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that Wink made a little bit of an adjustment and reduced Holmes' snaps. But it's time to give. I don't care what the media says anymore. I haven't cared because all I'm doing and all we're doing as Giants fans, we're enjoying this ride. We're 5-1 right now. We're a team that's on the rise. Coach, I agree with you 100%. We cannot take any teams lightly because a team like Jacksonville, a team like Detroit, or Houston, or any one of these other teams, they could slip. It could get us. We slip a little bit, they can get us. Because we have been
Mm-hmm.
playing close games, but these teams can't beat us if we don't stay on our game. We stay focused. We give respect to these other teams. And NYG, I agree with you 1,000%. The division. It's all about that division. It's all
Right.
about December. It starts in Thanksgiving with Dallas.
With
That's a
Dallas.
revenge game for
Mm-hmm.
us, and then it's all about December, where I believe I think four of our last 5 or 6 games are division games
We
against Washington
finished and we
and
finished
Philly.
the season with Philly at Philly. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying?
Yep. Week 18.
We finished the season at Philly. I think that's going to be the game that's going to decide the division. You know
I
what I'm
believe so
saying?
too.
And let me answer a couple Breezy's questions real
Go
quick.
ahead.
Did I predict the Giants would be this good this season at 5-1? Nah, none of us did. The one person that did, I will say, is Lou, Big Blue
Yep.
Lou,
Mm-hmm.
from
Mm-hmm.
the Big Blue Crew, man, G
Put up that
Nation.
11-6 the whole time.
He had us 11-6 the whole time, and I see some niggas on Twitter trying to take
Mm-hmm.
bros takes, yo. You know what I'm saying? I had to post comment on there too, man, because
Mm-hmm.
don't do that,
No,
bro.
don't take his stuff. He's
That
the only one put it out
he
there.
was the
Yeah.
only man that had us on that type of train. Everybody else was 9-8, myself included,
Yeah.
ten and
Me too.
seven,
Mm-hmm.
7-8, shit like that. So
Yep.
don't cap, yo. Don't do that. But nah, I didn't have us right around this period. I think I had us at 3-2. I had us losing to Baltimore. I had us beating one of Baltimore and Green Bay, but I did have us losing to Tennessee. Those are
Yeah.
the two losses. You know what I'm saying? They ended up beating all those teams. So, you know what I'm saying, losing to Dallas. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he says, could this be Barkley's best year yet? I
That's
think
tough.
given the circumstances, yes. Yes. This could be his best year yet. You know why? Because he's playing with purpose and we're winning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When you're winning and you're playing with purpose, remember Saquon Barkley's up for a contract after this season. That
Yep.
dude's running with a purpose. So yeah, I think this is so far. You know what I'm saying? Fingers crossed, don't nothing happen. But so far, this is by far his best year yet, in my opinion.
And I
But
want to
go
say
ahead, you
this real quickly
go ahead.
too. I want to say this real quickly too. I wonder if this is going to give any type of fire to those two, like you said in your video or your post not that earlier ago, the elephants in the room. If those two elephants in the room are going to start trying to motivate themselves and get their asses back on the field because this Giants team right now has proven that they don't need Kenny Galladay or Kadarius Toney to win because they're winning despite these guys not being on the field. And that should light a fire under those two guys to realize, oh crap, maybe I need to push myself more, get back on that football field because right now this team is 5-1 and they have not needed either one of us at all to get where they are. They have guys like Marcus Johnson, David Sills, Darius Slayton, Richie James,
Richie
and of
James,
course
yep.
Wan'Dale Robinson. And Tony, this is a shot. I mean, you guys saw the reports earlier about, and I actually think that this is a legit. I would have thought it was a little bit false stuff before. I think it's legit that there are teams sniffing around on Tony, and because I think that Joe Shane might realize that Tony could be a guy if he can't stay healthy and he's just not fit with this team. Maybe they're going to try to get something for this guy because they know Wan'Dale is that guy in the slot. So I don't know if it's. I think it might be legit. The story that happened earlier with Kadarius Toney possibly being traded. It's possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but you got to throw it out there. But this team, I'm static. I haven't been this
How can you
happy. None of
do?
us have been this happy with the Giants in years. Go ahead.
But the thing about it is with Tony is, why am I echoing? thing about it is with Tony is how can you really do anything with Tony when you haven't seen him play yet? The league
Potential.
really hasn't seen him play yet. You know what I'm saying?
Potential.
So
That's why teams are maybe going by what his potential is, and some teams they
yeah,
look at potential and they would rather just take a chance on a guy that's got high potential that maybe is just in a situation that doesn't fit them, so they're willing to trade for a
what you
guy to see
gonna
if they
get
can
for
get the
him
most
though?
out of him.
You
I
gonna give
know,
him
but
up
we've
for
seen it.
a fifth or sixth round pick?
You think
He's
you can get
probably
him for a
not.
third?
Nope.
You're not getting a third from somebody that hasn't been on the
Six,
field. It's
six
gonna
or
be a
seven.
fifth or six. I guarantee you.
6 or 7 if you do.
And
If
that's just giving the guy
what
away.
Right. So the
what
question
did
is,
what did Carolina get for Richie Anderson?
Robbie Anderson,
I mean Rodriguez. Sorry.
sixth and a seventh, I think.
And he's a
Exactly.
proven receiver.
That's my point.
Yeah. Tony
That's my
hasn't
point.
even been on the field but like 4 or 5
Oh, he's an
games.
oh,
He's
he's an
a
older receiver making a lot of money. Tony, even though he has not been on the field, he is a guy with high potential, and teams have seen it
but the
when he's been on the
injuries
field.
the injuries are the factor. You're not going to give up that much capital when there's the potential for injuries. He's already proven that he hasn't played even half of his NFL games. He hasn't. So it's right now it's a potential thing with him, yes, but it's also risk of injury. So you're going to say, well, I'll give you top 6 round draft pick and I'll only give you one pick. Now the question is, will Shane take it? Will he say, I'd rather try? Because don't forget, he's still under contract for another what? After this, 3.5 years?
He was a
Uh,
first round pick, so
Yeah,
they
two
have an
years
option
after
on
this
him.
year.
you have
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
2 years
you have
after
the
this year
option.
plus an option.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you don't have to trade him. I know everyone is saying, even me, I'm like, I'm just almost I'm to the point where I'm done with him. But in terms of business, smart sound business, you still have him. He's under contract, so you don't have to do anything. You can still let him sit for the whole damn year if you need to. You still got him next year. And then after next year, if you need to, then you can do whatever you got to do because it's only then going into his 4th year and you can decline his 5th year option. And
Well,
then,
I'm on the mindset. I'm on the mindset, coach. Oh, go ahead, coach. Finish what you were
no, go
saying.
ahead, go ahead. What are you saying?
I'm on the mindset now with just how this coaching staff is delegating with these wide receivers and even the front office.
Mhm.
I really have the belief that this wide receiver core is going to be 1,000% scrapped, except for number 17, Wandale Robinson. Maybe if Darius Slayton is willing to come back on a smaller contract, you might bring him back for like
I
a
would
one,
give him
maybe
a
2 year
deal.
deal. I would too, because I think he could still be a help on this offense. Then if you want to
And
like take
it's
a
the
chance on a
chemistry
Colin
with
Johnson,
Jones.
yeah, a
Yeah.
Marcus Johnson, take a chance on some of these other guys, but I really believe that they're going to scrap this entire wide receiver core. I know I don't want to delegate and go off the topic of the Giants being the good, but this is something that we have to talk about too. Is this
Mhm.
the wide receiver core because it's one of the still biggest issues with this team and the two elephants in the room, number 19, number 89. Like if they're going to be part of this, the fun going forward, or if these guys are going to be on the sidelines, waiting for that train to take them out of New York City. So that's you got to think about that. And I just have to believe. I think Wandale is their guy. And you
Mhm.
could tell because who was targeted the most in that game, the highest target percentage, it was Wandale. And whose snaps went down? Richie James.
Of
Wandale is the guy
course.
they've wanted in this offense. They
Richie
want to
James
get the
was
ball
his
to Wandale Robinson
Yeah, no,
and Bellinger
that's
too.
that's logical. That's understandable. I just,
Bellinger.
I
That's a good
just,
point.
I love
I hear
Bellinger,
you
this guy
as
too.
far as this receiving room. The one I think definitely is gone. In terms of top talent, top level talent, is
Levant's
Galladay.
eating good tonight. I see you, Levance.
Galladay is definitely gone. Like I said to you yesterday, Jeff.
Yeah,
Post June 1st, if you trade him, he's saving us. What I say with 17,
14,
6, yeah, 16.
14,
And
15, 16 mil, yeah.
if you cut him pre June 1st, you're saving about 10 or $13 million. So
Yeah.
he's gone. He's gone. We
Oh
already know
yeah,
he's gone.
we already know he's not on the team
So
after
the
this
other
year. He's
ones,
gone.
they're bit pieces. Yes, Sills. Even Colin Johnson. Yeah, I can agree. He's gone. You take a flyer on Marcus Johnson, but Tony, because he's on a rookie contract, you can still hold on to him. He's still, now that I think about it, he has more value than we realize because of that rookie contract. And you can wait. You can sit and wait. And, being that he's still under contract for multiple years, you still can say, let me still take a chance to see what next year happens. And we still have the rest of this year. So, you know what?
Yeah.
He may come back the tail end of the season and prove something or serviceable, which will carry over into next year anyway. So,
We'll
you
find
know,
out tomorrow in the injury report too if like either one of these
I
guys is
think
making some progress and possibly could come back. But I think they might hold him out until after the bye.
that would be the smart move. I would hold both of them out until after the bye.
Mm.
And we've been, like you said, we've been winning without him. So you know what? You guys sit there, make sure you get an extra week, then we'll be sure. And you know what? You can go from there. And coming back, you have after that we have Seattle, Houston,
Houston
and
and is it Detroit?
Detroit. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
I mean, he can, in a sense, work his way back up into before the Dallas game. So, so yeah, right now, yeah, I can't see unless the bottom falls out. I mean, completely, and then you just get whatever you can for him. But Tony, I think he's going to be here. Even into next year. I really do.
I think both of them are going to be here. I really believe, and NYG, you said it too. I think that they're going to try to get anything they can, any single little bit they can out of these two guys because they're
Hmm.
here. They're probably Galladay's definitely not going anywhere unless the team is foolish enough to take his salary, which we know that's not happening.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of fans are down on Tony, but I still think that he's going to be part of this team. So I agree with you, Coach. So when these guys get back on the field, the thing is, do you really want to take a guy like Marcus Johnson off the field if he's playing well and producing? Do you want to take, a guy like David Sills? Well, he might not be flashing in terms of stats. He's blocking, and David Sills is doing a solid job blocking on the outside to spring some of these big runs and big pass plays. Do you want to take out a guy like Darius Slayton? Because if you want to put in a guy like Tony and Galladay, you're going to have to take out some of these other guys that are playing pretty well, that are contributing right now, and they're filling
Well,
in
when you
pretty
say
well in their
take them out,
roles.
I mean, don't
Well,
forget
you
you
can
don't have
rotate them too. You can rotate them too.
exactly.
That's true.
That's the
You, you
that's the
you
point.
can rotate them, and you don't throw them into the mix right off the bat, and say, oh, you're going to be playing 30, 40, 50 plays. Maybe they go 15, 20 plays. That's all you really need to do, and you don't break up the continuity. You let them work their way back in slowly. So, and that's why I
That's what they've
said
been
those.
doing with Tony anyway.
Hmm.
They since he got here, that's how he's been playing. He's been playing a handful of snaps,
And
whether it was
Galladay's been
Jason
mainly a
Garrett
blocking receiver.
or this new regime. They just put him out there for a couple of plays and then you
Hmm.
know what I'm saying. So what I think you should do with Tony is play Tony when he's healthy, when he's absolutely at his fullest strength. When tape up both hamstrings, do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying, and make damn sure he's ready to go, and you showcase his skill set, and you look to move on from
Okay.
him next season.
I
That's I think
reduce
your
his snaps
best
too.
case scenario for Tony.
I would give him limited amount of snaps because right now this dude is proving he can't take a close to or a full complement of snaps at wide
Right.
receiver. His body just can't
Hmm.
handle it. So I would reduce his snaps, maybe give him like three
See
quarters,
if he
maybe
can
a
get some
half
splash
snaps. But
plays to
exactly, put him out there for some splash
showcase
plays.
the. Yeah,
And Galladay, when he plays out there, I would use him mainly as a
I
guy.
would
Like
play
I know
Galladay.
coach has said,
I would
you
play
could
him
use him and like if you could scheme him open, which
as
I
a
agree, you could
blocker.
scheme
Yeah,
Galladay open. You could find ways to get him the ball in the middle of the field, but for Galladay mainly, I would make him a blocking wide receiver because he is good at
Hmm.
blocking, and I would make
yeah,
him a red zone threat and target him in
as
the
a
red zone
blocker.
because
He's not even
he
good in the
is
red
six, but
zone.
he is 6'4". You got to give him
But
an
but
opportunity.
You
you
Got
know
to
see
who
give him
that.
good
a
in the red
chance.
Okay,
zone? The
listen,
smaller
listen,
guys.
listen, listen. No,
Wandale
it's not
Robinson
always.
and them has been better in the
It's
red
not
zone.
always that. It's a matter of scheme. They were. Someone posted the crossers with them in I can't remember if it was in the second quarter, and they showed the
Oh, I
end zone
seen that. It
view,
was
and
Bobby Skinner, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
Bobby.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And what you notice is if you saw the defenders, guys are trying to avoid each other, and guys got separation. That's why I always say it's not always about, sometimes their physical skills. Sometimes it's just schematics. All you have to do is scheme him sometimes and get him in the right matchup. You can set him up in the slot and run a smash route combo with him, depending, now you get him possibly on a safety or a linebacker. And then, for those who don't know a smash route combo, you have two receivers on the same side. One on the outside runs a little hitch, while the inside guy runs a corner, which will, and especially if a safety or linebacker has inside leverage, that'll give him the opportunity where you put the ball in the back corner, he catches it over his shoulder. So that's why I say scheming is more important with him than anything because he doesn't have the physical tools. He doesn't,
No.
and there's no denying that. So Marcus Johnson is more athletic, and they're about the same size. So
The
so to
It
me,
seems the
it's
scheming has gotten a lot better too since Galladay's been out of the office. The scheming has seemed to open it up a lot more because you see Marcus Johnson on some of these,
mm-hmm,
these plays that you're talking about, Coach. You see
mm-hmm,
even David Sills at times. Now you're seeing
mm-hmm,
Wandale being used over the middle. They're starting to open things up because they don't have that anchor in a way. And we've all taken our shots at Galladay, but it's sort of an anchor on this offense. But now it's like you
mm-hmm.
have more free reign
Yes,
and free
no,
roam.
yes,
Even without Tony, it's still working a little bit better. So, but we'll have to see
and I
what's going to
think
happen
too.
when these
I
guys
think
get back in
too.
the offense.
You got to understand who your quarterback is. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
saying? And I've been saying this. You know what I'm saying? Maybe people ain't been listening, but I say it again. It's about fit for your quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
Daniel
Mm-hmm.
Jones wants receivers he can trust to make the right cuts, run the right proper routes, and be there and be on time and be able to catch the passes that he's delivering. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The guy's been having a lot of problems with receivers dropping passes, and I think
Mm,
a lot of those issues are timing issues. Coach, you could correct me if I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? So he wants the receivers that he has the best timing with, the best chemistry with, the best, you know what I'm saying, fit for the system. You
and
know,
ironically, it's
and
the rookies right now. That's who he has the best
right.
timing with. The rookies are the
So
ones.
so if you got Kenny Galladay out there that you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And I
Mm-hmm.
even seen a couple plays with Kadarius Tony where it just looked like Kadarius Tony early in the season. He just kind of didn't look like he was ready for the pass or whatever when Jones threw it to him. So it's stuff
Mm,
like that that you got to watch for. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And people say, well, Daniel Jones is. It's not Daniel Jones going to go out there and bash the receivers. He's going to say all the right things. The type of dude he is. But in the back of his head, he's like, look, I want to play with these certain type of cats. Why you think David Sills made the roster?
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Because Daniel Jones feels like this is a guy I can trust to do his job. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy I can trust to do his job. Now, what else you got to think about too is the coaches know some of these guys are going to be here long term.
yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
you want to get a look at the guys that you can actually build with moving
Mm-hmm.
forward. You know, why would you put Kenny Galladay out there when you know this cat ain't gonna be on the team next year? You know that. Everybody knows it in the NFL. Kenny Galladay's not coming back. He's not gonna be here. Your best bet, in my opinion, is the IR to do. You know what I'm saying? IR him. With Tony, I think you have to put Tony out there because, like you say, he's a young player, and if you do plan on moving on from him, you have to showcase his skill set at some point.
Yep.
Galladay's washed. I'm sorry. It is what it is. The guy's washed. I'm not going knock his effort because I seen him out there blocking with
Yeah, he's
effort.
trying
It
at
looks like
least.
he's trying. He just
Mm-hmm.
he ain't got it, man.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? He ain't got it. The
Mm-hmm.
injuries and caught up to him. And now you coming
yeah.
off another injury and you want to put this guy out there. Nah, man, you can't do that. You can't do that. You got to if this team is planning on moving forward with Daniel Jones, which to me it looks like that's a possibility right now. Um, I think it's a strong possibility. Some people might think otherwise, but if you plan on moving on with Jones, you got to get the guys that he can play with. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think they got Wandale Robinson. You know what I'm saying? It
Mhm.
seemed like they already got chemistry with Robinson, with Bellinger, with some of
Mm,
these young guys. You know, we know he
hmm.
got it with Slayton. You know what I'm saying?
You know
He
he's got it with
developed it
Barkley.
with Richie James. You know, he's getting something going with Marcus Johnson. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
these are the guys you want. And think about this from a financial standpoint. We always talking about the cap or whatever.
Yep.
These guys ain't making that much money.
Nope.
They're not going to command that much money on the open market.
Mhm. Mhm.
So why not move forward with some of these guys? You can supplement some of these cats in free agency. Maybe you go out and get a guy or two. Don't overspend, and then you hit the draft up, man, and go find that number one cat that Jones can go get good chemistry with and that he can move forward with, man. That's gonna be your guy, man. You know, you get him a Stephon Diggs, get him a AJ Brown, you know,
Mm.
whoever. That's what you gotta get, but you gotta get it in the draft. Don't go out there and spend money on free agency.
No.
You know what
No.
I'm saying? Get
Mm-mm.
the guy in the draft.
Yeah,
You know.
that's always the smart way to build a team. The
Mhm.
draft is just to get some complementary or supplemental piece here or there. But yeah, you're right. You don't build through free agency because that's a recipe for a disaster. So.
And we tried that twice
Mhm.
already. And also, you think about it, everybody's ranting and raving about Gabriel Davis. That guy was a mid-round pick for the Buffalo Bills out
Hmm.
of
Right.
South Florida. So
Right.
I mean,
Right.
in Central Florida. That's a dude that came in the mid rounds that Joe Shane
Mhm.
found. And you know what? They got a number one receiver in Diggs, and they were able to make Gabriel Davis that complementary piece on the outside as the number two. We already got a number two. Wandale Robinson is probably going to be our number two receiver going forward.
Mhm.
Hmm.
We just need that alpha. We need that number one. And if it was up to me, I would like to get a bigger, like a little bit of a bigger target, like a 6'1" guy, maybe 6'2", that could stretch the field. Those types of receivers.
I honestly
I
don't
know the
You
think a
already
size
have
doesn't
them.
bigger
care. I know
target.
the size doesn't matter, but
You already have
sometimes it's a
that.
little bit better
You
if
already
we can
have
do that.
that.
Well, that's what
You know
Darius
what I
Slay's going to
want?
be
You know
here.
what I
That's
want?
he's
I
going to be
want
here after
guys.
this year.
I want guys with speed. This offense needs speed. You know what I'm saying?
You can get
And
a big receiver with speed.
No, it
I
doesn't.
think they need speed, coach, and I think they need speed and agility. You know what I'm saying? Because the type of offense they trying to run. Go ahead. You got some pushback. Go ahead.
No, it's not speed. It's quickness. I'd
Okay,
say
Speed is
I'll give you that.
overrated.
quickness.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Quickness
Quick.
because remember I just said teams are starting to play too high. So now you want
Mhm.
the quickness to
Yeah, the
match up
agility. Yeah.
underneath. Yeah, because remember what it I mean, think about the Patriots. For everything you kill them, they always had those type of quick, twitchy receivers who
Julian Edelman,
Yeah,
Wes
Edelman,
Welker,
exactly
Amendola.
Wes
Amendola.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walker. I mean, they work the intermediate areas, the short areas, to get the ball, and you want to get the ball out quickly. Daniel Jones has shown he can get the ball out quickly when
Mm-hmm.
necessary. He does
Mm-hmm.
hold on to, and he holds on too long when he's trying to go deep. But when you get him to get it short and get it intermediate, he gets it out quickly.
Yeah.
So that's why I say that's what you want to do. Now, you do that to bring a safeties down, then you use a speed guy to go over the top. So that's where, but to base it, yeah, I want a speed guy. Nah, right now, I want quick guys. Wandale Robinson is not a straight line fast guy.
Mm-mm.
He's quick, so he gets good separation. That's what you need. Shaq was
Mm-hmm.
not a good straight line fast
Oh,
guy.
he was slow, but he can get in and out of his routes really quick. And
Exactly.
plus, he's an elite route runner.
And
That
that's the
helps
thing.
too.
That's what you want, especially in this offense. I mean, I'm watching it. That's exactly what they want. And then, you get good, and then play action will help, which goes into scheming. You get your separation. So I'm
Without,
No, he
going.
could be that guy
but
too,
let
but
me
he just needs to stay
let me
healthy.
let me ask y'all something, yo.
Hmm.
Because the way you describing this receiver sounds like two receivers the Giants had in the past. One y'all probably know where I'm going with one of them. That's Beckham,
Hmm.
a quick guy, but
Hmm.
also has enough speed to get away from
Hmm.
you.
Hmm.
Hmm.
The other guy is Victor Cruz,
I could throw
Hmm.
quick
another one
guy
out there too.
hmm.
Steve
with enough
Smith.
speed to get away from you.
Remember Steve
Yes.
Smith? Steve
Yeah, I
Smith was
remember
a
Steve
hell of a
Smith.
route
Very.
runner, but he was in and
Mhm.
out of his routes quick. That guy got
Exactly.
open all the time. You're
Mhm.
right.
So now, and as far as the 6'2" receivers, right now I already say we have them. But if you're saying number one, no, we don't have them. But if you're
Mhm.
saying you just want a
That's
six
just
two
my hopeful
receiver,
thinking. It's not something I really want. It's just hopeful, wishful thinking. Just a little bit of a bigger target on the outside that can
that's
go down the field,
Darius
like a Gabriel.
Slayton.
But that's if
That's
he's here next year, if we keep him.
Oh, okay, fair enough, fair enough. That's
Yeah.
true.
I'd love to, but I don't know if he's still a guy that Joe Shane and Brandon Brown want to keep after this year. I just don't know if they think about this dude.
No, that's
I,
fair. That's
mm,
fair. And I it's like we keep alluding to like Gabriel Davis and all that. Where that's kind of saying we're trying to build Buffalo's offense. No, build what you guys think will fit for this organization,
yeah, you're
and
right.
that works together.
Mm,
Now if it's building like that, then fine, no problem. I'm not saying don't, but I don't want to go in saying we got to emulate what they did up there to build. No, you do what you feel is best for this organization. Period.
mm,
Case closed.
you're right.
And quick, twitchy, receivers that get out of their breaks, good fundamental running, having a receiver who can go stretch the field every now and then. That's good enough. And I think that's conducive and it works with the defense that we have because don't forget, for everything that we talk about Wings defense, it's a high risk, high reward type of a defense. And there are times that teams are going to burn us, and
Hmm.
you're going to need the offense sometimes to give the defense a rest. And that
Yes.
goes into running the ball
I
sometimes.
would
That goes,
love another shutdown corner next to Dory Jackson. I
there you
mean
go.
I
that
think we
would
might
take
go
this
after that. I think we
that
might.
would take this defense to another
I will say
level. You
this.
know
I
what
will
I'm
say
saying?
this. I will say this.
Straight
All
up.
right. They're they're proving you don't need another lockdown cornerback right now. They're proving
No,
it.
you don't. But
So
think
I,
about
I mean, their safety
how
play has been incredible right now too. Their safeties have been
yeah,
absolutely
but
fantastic. All
but
these guys.
but think about the next level to this defense.
no, I'm not saying that.
What has this defense been struggling with? You know
Of
what
No,
I'm
you're
course,
right.
saying?
We do need another
yes.
cornerback, but like
I'm
Coach
not
says,
saying
it's not needed right now
It's
because the
not needed
guys out
right
there
now.
doing their
for
jobs.
me.
I'm
For
talking about
me,
like for the future.
Oh yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
No, for the
Mm.
future. Right now, I'm putting either a number one receiver or a center as the top positions that I need to address first right off the bat if it's
We need a
there.
center. Feliciano's not getting the job done.
No,
We
I
need
know
a
that. I know
center.
that. I
Yeah,
know
you're
that. But don't
absolutely right, Coach.
but don't forget, if they decide to move Bredesen over, and he can handle it, okay, because
Didn't
we
he go in that center
He
for a
did.
couple plays
yeah, he did.
yeah,
Yeah, and
He
then
yeah.
did.
Zudu came in at
I
left
think he could
guard.
do the job.
So, and that's
Him or
what I'm
Shane
saying.
Lemieux. Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, like, if that's where I'm saying we need a center. Now, if one of them can handle it, and because remember, that's what happened with Nick Gates. Until
Yep.
Nick Gates really played it, he was a tackle guard, and then they
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
put him at center, and next thing
Mm-hmm.
you know, he blows up. So, can we do the same thing with one of those guys, or can we draft? Now the thing with drafting a center, case in point, Baltimore is the prime reason that concerns me because even on that
Linderbaum.
play that I'm talking about, Linderbaum looked totally confused. That's why I say there's more to the play. He looks totally
Yeah.
confused,
I
and during
haven't
the
got
course
into
of
the tape yet, Coach. I want to get
Yeah, I
into the
gotta go
tape
exactly.
watch
with
the
you.
tape tomorrow
Yeah.
too. But
So
I gotta look at
it's
that.
like and I was watching some of the things that yeah he made some plays, but there were a lot of plays he really got confused on, and that's what you get with a rookie center. So it's Baltimore's offensive line has always been good, so you can take that risk. We're just starting to get there. So do we want to put in a center right now? It's good if you're building across the board, but I still feel like we're in that win now mode right now. We're literally now transitioned from full out rebuild to now we're
When
pushing
now?
the envelope to what, we're no longer rebuilding, we're past that right now. We're at a point where
Oh,
what,
we're Philly. We're where Philly was at last year.
exactly.
And
Yes.
look where they
And,
at this year, and that's
and
the jump I expect us to take next
and what
year.
did
You know what I
they
mean?
do? What did they do to make that jump? They made one key change. I mean, no, no, don't get me wrong. They drafted well. They drafted well,
Hmm.
especially on the defensive side of the ball.
The
But
lines, yeah, defense, offensive lines,
offensively, what did they do to elevate their play? They got that number one receiver.
number one receiver. Yeah, that's what
So
we're looking for.
exactly. So that's
That's
why
why I
I
wasn't
say
opposed to them going after DJ Moore, but it doesn't look like Carolina's going to let him out of there.
once they traded Robbie Anderson, I knew they weren't going to because it makes
Yeah,
no
they ain't
sense.
letting him out of there. You
It makes
can't
no
get rid of
sense.
all your receivers. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
it
going to
has
have Terrace Marshall and DJ Moore be the future of that
exactly.
wide receiver core.
yeah.
Exactly. So, to me, it's like, yeah, I would want more, yeah, but
Hmm.
let's be real, it's not going to happen, or you're going to have to
Hmm.
give up,
They're gonna have to
no,
go get somebody in the draft.
exactly.
Oh,
Bottom
we're
So
line.
absolutely doing that. That's good. That's probably
Hmm.
one
now,
of Joe Shane's number one
now,
objectives is to get Joe
if
as a one.
I will say, I've been watching him, and the other one who just shined this past Saturday, I've been slowly watching him, but the kid from TCU is the
He's
one
good.
that
Hmm.
I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, can he drop? I don't think he is, but can he drop to the late teens to 20s? You know, that could be a possibility, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have you plug that in when we do coach's corner later, coach,
Hmm.
because I do want you to talk about some of the receivers that's coming out because to me, like you said, that's our biggest position in need right now.
And
You
he's
know,
a bigger target
is
too.
number one receiver.
That kid from
He's
TCU. He's a
he's
bigger
he's
target that
super
Yeah,
gets
good.
down the field and
I
he can
want
get
coach to
open.
plug me in on the players, and then I'm gonna go back myself and go look at these guys and watch the film because I don't really keep up with college football like that. Um,
I want to
But
answer
let's
this
get into
question
the
for
Jets a little
Breezy.
bit, man. Before oh yeah. Let's answer Breezy's question. It's a good question by the
I
way.
think I got it. I think
I
the
know
Mets
it.
were
Okay,
86, the Yankees
Hmm.
were 2009, the Nets were
correct.
1976 if you count the ABA, the
Hmm.
Devils were
Mm,
2003, the
Let's
Rangers were
see.
1994, the
Yeah.
Islanders I
94. Yep.
believe I think they're like
Remember.
1984 or 5, I believe their
See,
hockey
that's
team.
that's yeah, that's where I was confused at too.
The
So
Jets obviously were 1969 and the Giants were
69,
2011.
2011, and the Knicks were what 73?
73.
73. Knicks were
Yeah.
not 73.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, man.
I was there
Good
with
shit,
you
y'all.
too. The hockey was I'm like 40%.
We've
So
had such a
Yeah.
drought in championships. It's
I
like
do remember
crazy.
the Rangers '94
I do
championship. I
too.
definitely
I was a
remember
Devils fan, so
mhm.
I dealt with them beating us. I didn't
So
hear
I
Matto
didn't remember the
Matto
Islanders
the
though.
entire
I ain't gonna
team.
lie to you.
Exactly.
I had to hear Matto for the entire offseason, and then we go out the
Oh, you
next
said you
year and
got it
we win
right,
the
Jeff.
championship.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
thank you, Breezy.
the hockey you got me on, but everything else, yeah, I was right there with you. So I knew that. I
Hmm.
knew the Nets,
I was a
with
big
Dr.
Devils fan back
J
in the
and
day
the
as well.
ABA, I knew that. So the
Mm.
Knicks, of course, I'm going to know that. The Jets, the Giants. Yeah,
Hmm.
so Yankees, Mets. Mets, I was 86. I was young, so yeah, I knew all about it. So
I want a Nets and a Mets championship so bad. I'm craving for a championship for one of those two teams. The
Right,
other
Breezy.
guys have already seen
Breezy,
it.
remember, man, when when the Raiders won in '94, man. You know what I'm saying? We was both in Brooklyn at that
That was
time,
tough.
man.
That was
We was
hard.
young pups, man. You know what I'm saying? The Knicks couldn't deliver,
The Nets
mhm.
couldn't
but the
deliver
Rangers did.
when they had their shots too.
They was
Remember,
both in the finals at that
we had our
'94, yeah.
shots 2 years in a row. And we didn't get it done. We had that San Antonio series. We'll get probably in the basketball stuff, but we had that shot in that San Antonio series. Remember, we had them and
Mhm.
we didn't get the job done. We
Hmm.
had that Nets team. Our favorite Nets team of all time was that team with Kidd, Martin, Jefferson, Field,
Yeah,
all those
yeah,
guys.
Martin, yeah, they, yep, they had a shot too, man. Couldn't get it done, man. But let's get
Mhm.
into the Jets, man. You know what I'm saying? Because man, shout out to the New York Jets, man. And I was actually watching both of the games at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of had the Jets on silent, and I was listening to the broadcast of the Giants game. Yo, these cats they ain't fucking around. I ain't gonna hold you. The Jets is for real. You know
They're
what I'm
good.
saying? Rob Sala's got that defense and them cats playing on schedule. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Zach Wilson is doing his best Daniel Jones impression I ever seen. He ain't making no mistakes. You know what I'm saying? He's doing just enough to win the game, making just enough plays, man. Sauce Gardner is a legit number one cornerback in this league, hands down. That was an excellent pick. Same thing with Garrett Wilson. He's going to be a number one receiver in this league in due time. And the defense is playing well, man. They got some big plays on special teams, man. Then they got a block punt and a block field goal. So the Jets are humming, man, on all cylinders. Three
Mm-hmm.
phases of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like I try to tell people, three phases of
Mm-hmm.
the game: offense, defense, special teams. And the Jets are playing on a high level on all three phases of the game right now. You know what I'm saying? Brees Hall is ridiculous. I'm telling you, he's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's a baby Saquon right now for the Jets, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, man, the Jets, look, they 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
4-2. People thought I was smoking that pack when I said they was going to win 7 games. You know what I'm saying?
I said they'd
So
be second in the division. I got
I
laughed at when I
mean,
said that this team was going to be a lot better than people thought. We look smart
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
now.
you can see the potential. They got tons of talent. The Jets always been hands on that quarterback position. We
Mm-hmm.
already
Mm-hmm.
know they put it. They've been getting it in on the defensive end, man. They didn't draft Quentin Williams. You know what I'm saying?
His
Carl
brother
Lawson. Them
Quincy.
cats. Yeah, them cats ready to go, man. You know what I'm saying? So now they got Sauce there, man. Filthy, man. I'm telling you, they made Aaron Rodgers. He want to go. He want to go do Jeopardy now. I know he pissed off. He ain't take that Jeopardy job because the way he been getting smacked around the last 2 weeks by the Jets and the Giants. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
get him out of there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He's done. You know what I'm saying? Ben saying he's done. Tom Brady's done. It's a new era. It's a new league. Let's go. Jets,
Mm-hmm.
Giants, let's go, man. Shout out to the Jets, though. You know what I'm saying? What y'all saying from the Jets, man, that y'all like so far?
I mean, I
I
love the
mean,
Anybody
Jets.
can
Go
number
ahead,
one,
Coach.
number one, where I always start trench warfare. I mean, they're showing that. I mean, their offensive line for all the injuries that they have, they fill in nicely. They put guys in the right spot, and they produce, and they're very physical on that offensive line. Whether it's in the run game and even with work in the passing game, and then defensively, I mean, those guys are flying all over the place. I mean,
Yeah, they are.
Quentin Williams dominated this weekend. To
Yep.
me, he was the best. He was the best defensive lineman this whole weekend. Just his
How
quickness.
about the Fat Boys? Him and Dexter Lawrence, man,
Exactly.
holding it
That's my
down
point.
for the New Yorkers.
And if you really think about it, the thing that the Jets have over the Giants is in three positions. I'll say it's at wide receiver. They do
Definitely.
have a better tight end group than we do,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
at the
Bellinger ain't
cornerback.
bad though.
No,
Bellinger and
no, I'm not
Myron
saying
ain't
this.
bad.
No,
It's
it's
not
not bad,
bad,
but he is right.
but
Their
It's
tight end.
not as wide as the gap as the wide receivers. I give you that.
no,
Yeah,
no, no.
it's
No,
But
far and
no.
away they got a ton better wide
and the
receivers.
cornerback play, their cornerback play has
Sauce
been
is legit. Yeah,
yeah,
Sauce
I
is
can't
good.
argue that.
so
He's for real.
I mean now if you want to say linebacker, I mean this past weekend our linebacker play wasn't the greatest, but I'm sorry, Lamar Jackson does that to everyone. So
Yeah.
yeah, it makes it hard for the linebackers to really produce.
Where
Any
do we
other
play
team,
Carson Wentz? Let's see
exactly.
how linebacker
Is
Oh
he
wait,
even going
play.
to
no,
play?
we're gonna play Heineke. We're gonna be playing
Yeah.
Heineke.
It don't matter.
But no, I get what you're
Yeah.
saying. So, an elusive quarterback like that will make most linebackers' jobs that much harder. But across, when you look at the two teams, we almost quarterback play. I mean, they even though they have a young quarterback, it's still questions about him.
Mhm.
Elite running backs,
Mm-hmm.
physical offensive line now on both
Offensive
sides of the
lines,
ball, physical
mhm.
defensive line,
Defensive lines.
good edge rushers. So I mean, it's there. And then we have two of the top defensive minds within the coaching
Oh
staffs
yeah.
in the league. So, to
Shout out to
me,
LaFleur. I mean,
it's
him and Kafka, man, they doing what they
Yeah,
got.
Mike
What they
Mike
doing
LaFleur
well.
did a good job
He's
too.
doing
I
a good
agree.
job too.
so
Yeah,
that's my point.
doing
It's
better
like
than his brother right
the
now.
Mm.
Jets. I mean, they're and now if you really want to think about it, that's where I think the Giants have the advantage because we're going to play in a tougher division. The Jets, other than Buffalo, they have the advantage over Miami and New England right now. They
Yeah.
really do. And I would not have, you couldn't have paid me enough to say the Jets have a better team over New England.
New England is tough though.
No, I'm not saying they're not.
Suckers, they ain't
Yes.
dead.
And
They
and
Belichick,
Zappy is
and they
starting
got
to
a
prove that you know what people. I mean, I watched him at Western Kentucky, but I just didn't think it would translate to the NFL because of the
people
system.
said he was
But
asleep in the draft though out of the
yes,
quarterbacks.
They
People
did
did
say
say
that.
that.
Yeah.
exactly. And now it's like well, is he making Matt Jones obsolete? Now again, it's just a couple
Possible.
of games. I'm not going to jump the gun, but they're doing something right up there now in New England, and for all we kill Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, I mean they're doing something right up there.
They just ain't head coaches. Yeah.
No, they're
Exactly.
great
Yeah.
coordinators.
Putting the
So
position coaches, yeah. The
so
the
and
draft.
that's the thing. It's but the Jets, their division to me is not as tough as what we have in the NFC East.
Yeah.
So it
Mhm.
it does present that opportunity for them to have a better opportunity. Buffalo is Buffalo, but I'm not even going to say the Jets. I'm not even going to say the Jets are going to get swept by Buffalo because they might be able to play with Buffalo because they're just as
Mhm.
physical up front. So they can handle it. And they have the one thing that, they have a good running attack that can, sustain and control the clock. So, that's what I'm seeing from the Jets. I mean, they're young, they're hungry, they're
Mhm.
building, and you know what? People can sleep on them all you want. I mean, their next two games, they have Denver and New England. Go to Denver. Now, Denver is going to be tough playing up there because it's in the mile high, so that wind is also going to be a factor. But I think they will have better coaching because we all know Denver's coaching
We
is
we can we can be better.
He's one and
NYG and
done.
myself, NYG and myself could be a better head coach than that dude over there in Denver.
Oh
and
yeah. Facts.
and then New England, of course, is going to be tough. And then you have New England and Buffalo coming before they go to the bye. So
Yeah.
right there, that's going to tell us really where they are over these next three games. If they go
Same
two
thing
and
like the
one,
Giants. It's the
ex-
division games that's going to decide it. We
well,
even said this on the NBA show. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Big Fan Breezy, man.
I'm going to
The
say this. I'm going to say this. I'm going to
division
say this
games.
because I was
Yeah.
listening to one of those spaces conversation about that, and these guys were coming on because this one guy came on and I just got off after that because he came on. I don't care about anything but winning the division games. If we don't go 4-2 or better, it's a lost season. And one of the guys said to him, "So if we went 1-5 in the division, but we won every other out of division game and making the playoffs, I don't care. It's a lost season." And that's when I said, you know what, I'm done. I'm off ad because these are people that don't understand. Yes, the division is important. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that,
Mhm.
but let's not. You got to look at the totality of
Your
everything.
conference is important too.
Yes,
Exactly.
every
Mhm.
game is
Yeah.
important. So, and when this dude
Yeah.
said that, I was just like, nah, I can't.
Mm.
I'm
Yes,
It ain't
surprised
the
you
Buffalo.
jumped
all.
in
It
those
ain't.
Twitter
It ain't the
spaces.
all in to be all
No,
No.
everything, coach. But you know what I'm saying.
3-3.
The
If we
easiest
go three and
path
three,
to win to get into the playoffs is
yes,
to win your division. That's all
yes,
we've been
yes,
saying. Yeah.
yes,
You know what I'm saying?
yes.
And I think it's shaping up the way the NFL is shaping it right now, especially in the NFC East.
Mhm.
These games are going to come down to division games. You
And
know what
let's
I'm
be
Exactly.
real
saying?
too, guys. It's a very mediocre league than what maybe a lot of people
It
thought
is.
in the
Mhm.
beginning
Yeah.
of the season. It's a
Because
very,
you see
very
a lot of
mediocre
teams
league.
that they say are good are fading out. And this is why I
Exactly.
love.
I'm glad you brought that up because this is looking like a transitional year in terms of some of those powerhouse teams that
I
were good
agree.
for a very long time. The Packers, the
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Steelers. Sure, the
Exactly.
Patriots are playing better, but they've still been up and down at times.
Yes.
Mhm.
The
And
Bucks.
Yeah, the Bucks,
These teams that have
the
been
Saints,
dominating for a lot, the Saints, the
mhm.
the
Seahawks,
Seahawks.
these teams that have
Yes,
been
Look at the
dominating for
Rams.
years, the Rams, they've not been great.
They've been
You're
exactly.
struggling.
seeing teams now like the Jets, the Giants. You're
Yep.
seeing teams like
The Eagles from
the
the last two
Eagles,
Eagles, the
years,
Eagles
Vikings.
now,
the
the
Vikings,
Vikings.
exactly.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
and that's the one thing about the NFL. It's always cyclical. It happens. That's the one thing. Other than New England, over that long period of time, you always see teams come up and go down, come up and go down, come up and go down. And right now, this is like you said, this is that opportunity where we, the Jets, have and the Eagles have to kick the door in and say, we're here. You have to respect us now, and that's what it looks like we're gonna see. So, I mean, I do say yes, we both have a quote unquote easy schedule based on our records last year, but those teams are still tougher. So, I mean, so that it's not like we're playing
The funny thing
KC.
about the easy schedule is the teams the easy teams. I mean, the hard teams that we were supposed to lose to in this easy schedule, the
Hmm.
ones we beat, and
Exactly.
now it got me paused to wonder if like maybe some of these Detroits and
Yes.
Jacksonville might not be so
No,
They're
it's not
not.
gonna be a case
easy.
of no.
They're
This
not going to be
none of them.
easy.
None
Because,
They're
of
like
them.
not
you
going
None
to be
of
said,
them.
easy.
teams are rising and teams are falling. So you got
But the
teams
one
coming
thing,
up, teams coming down. So you
look at
never
what
know,
look at
you
our
know.
team though. Look at the one thing about the Giants. Every game is a one score game. Every game.
That's true.
So, that's battle tested.
Yeah,
So, and
facts.
I mean, even the Jets, look at the Jets like with Cleveland. I mean, they scored 14 points in 1 minute. 14 points.
That's
And
crazy.
thank you, Adam, for making me go look at that for a specific reason. I, it's another reason why. But yeah, they scored 14 points in 1 minute, so to win that game. So and they came back. So those are things that you see from teams that are building a winning culture, and that's the one thing that I'm noticing in New York with the football teams. They're starting to build that winning culture.
Hmm.
It's going to take a little bit more time, but the more they win, the more confident they get. You know, even if you play a tough game and you lose by one score or a field goal, you're going to say, "We were in there." A ball bounces one way or another. We still won that. We still could have won that game. So, and that just builds confidence, and that's what you need. That's
Yeah.
really what you need to win in the NFL. You just need any sport. You just need confidence because to
Hmm.
play at that level, that's an elite level, that's more than any average football player, basketball player, baseball player could have ever imagined. They're all good. It's just confidence more than anything, you know, in fighting through your any adverse situation. So, and the Jets are starting to show me that they're that type of team. I mean, what's his name? The left tackle, Dwayne Brown. I mean, they showed a play Sunday where he pulled, and when I say he leveled whoever he was blocking, he leveled that guy had what I call stains on his ass. When you get stains on the ass, that says it all. So
It's a former All-Pro tackle too, Dwayne Brown.
exactly.
He's been a
Yeah,
damn good
yeah.
tackle. And coach, I want to.
Mhm.
Have you seen any tape on Elijah Vera Tucker? Because we
I
talk about
watched
Andrew
him. I
Thomas.
watched him.
This
I
kid, I
watched him.
love this kid. This kid is a
He's
damn
good.
good
I watched
offensive
him at
lineman.
USC.
Tucker
I
is great.
watched him at USC. I've always said he was. It kills me when people sit here and say, "Oh, they're a guard. They're better suited for guard." An offensive lineman is an offensive lineman. It's just that
Yes.
you get caught up into he needs to have long arms and he
Oh my
has to
God,
have a certain
it's so
level of
stupid that stuff. Yeah.
athleticism. Don't get me wrong. There's a certain technique to play from tackle to guard to center. I get that, but a
Hmm.
lineman is a lineman, and this kid can play literally all five positions. So
He's
I've
already
seen
done it
some.
this year. In multiple
Yeah,
weeks, he's already done it. He's played
Mhm.
left guard,
exactly.
right guard, left tackle, right tackle, and he's played very well at every single position. But I mean,
So
you guys already talked about the Jets. I mean, NYG and myself, we might have been two of the few people out there that actually said this Jets team could be a lot better than people think. And I mean, all they're doing right now is they're going out there and they're starting to have that same type of feel that the Giants had, but the Jets just might have a little bit more young talent and they're starting to put it together slowly. And
hmm
this team has that explosive mentality where they haven't even put up a lot of points yet, but they could do it if they want to. Because they have
hmm
explosive players on that offense. I mean, you already said it. Brees Hall is turning into already a very damn good running back in his
Yeah,
first few games of his career. Michael
yeah.
Carter is a damn good. If Michael Carter was not
He's
on the
good
same
too.
team as Brees Hall, That guy would
Yeah.
be a number one running back probably on other teams. He's just here with another dominant looking running back. I mean, their offensive line for the Jets, like Coach said, they're an old school, gritty, hard nosed offensive line that's going to push you all over the place. I thought the Laken Tomlinson move was a big one for them too. That
Yeah.
guy's a very
Very
solid
underrated.
addition.
Very
Very
underrated.
underrated guard player at left guard. He's been a good find for them. Like you said, Dwayne Brown. He's come in here and he's played really well since he came back from injury. I mean, Corey Davis. Hey, Kenny Galladay, why don't you take some notes from that guy from New York, Corey Davis, on how to live up to that contract, because Davis has played very well for the
Playing
Jets so
well.
far. And that Zach Wilson right
Elijah
now has
Moore.
got a good chemistry. Well, Elijah Moore was chirping a little bit the day ago, like saying he's not getting enough targets. So he's a good player too, but he's just got to realize sometimes it's bigger for the team to play well than like your own individual stats. So that rubbed me a little bit the wrong way. So like Elijah Moore's got to realize that you don't need to have a ton of targets. It's about wins right now. But I mean, he's a good player. Braxton Berrios, like we've said, he's a good player. I mean, Garrett Wilson, we praise this guy. I think these guys are legit number one receiver. Their tight end group is good. Conklin, Uzama, Ruckert. There's a solid trio at tight end. And I mean, Jesus, their defensive line. Carl Lawson, coming back from multiple ACL surgeries, this guy's like all over the place. He's like running like an unleashed animal on the outside, getting these big plays and sacks. Quinn Williams, Jets fans have been bashing Quinn Williams because he was like Leonard Williams, the guy there before, the king of the almost sack. Remember that nickname? Remember the nickname everybody used to call Leonard Williams? That's what they call Quinn Williams, the king of the almost sack. You know what? He's getting sacks now, and he's disrupting games in the middle. Sheldon Rankins, another guy on that defensive line. He's really fit well right next to Quinn Williams in that interior defensive line. C.J. Mosley. Remember how good that guy was in Baltimore? We're starting to see the old C.J. Mosley now playing in that Jets defense, and he is playing damn good football, as well as Quincy Williams, Quinn's older brother, I believe. He's playing well. And then Sauce Gardner, my God. I mean, they might have. I'm not gonna say the second coming of Darrelle Revis, because Revis was just one of a kind. That dude was just besides Dion, Darrelle Revis is one of the best corners I've ever seen in my lifetime. How good that guy was. The Sauce. He's got the length. He's got the agility on the outside. He's got the quickness to catch up to wide receivers. He's got the lateral movement. I think this kid is special.
Teams already not even really targeting.
Teams they don't want to throw it. Yeah, they're scared.
They don't even throw to him. They throw to the other side, the other corner.
And Reed's not bad too on the other side. The free agent they picked up, he's not bad. And then Michael Carter, the other Michael Carter they have as a slot.
Yeah, Michael Carter the second.
To be honest, right now, I think he's playing better than Darnay Holmes is. I mean, Michael Carter's made some plays.
I'm not a big Darnay Holmes fan. I'm sorry.
Neither am I.
I'm
not either. Been. Well, I mean, we talked about what happened to him last week, but we'll stop right there. But their defense is playing good as a whole. But I mean, their young talent on this team is incredibly impressive. I mean, when this team actually is able to start really reaching their potential, how scary the Jets can be. And this is one of the reasons why I picked this team. Said that watch out for the Jets. Watch out for the Jets. They could be a team that could sneak up on you. That could win 7, 8, maybe 9 games. You never know, because they're putting it together right now. And like we've been talking about with the Giants, the Jets have a quote-unquote easier schedule, but they're starting to hit a groove now. And this team has got that same grit and attitude. And Zach Wilson, same guy like Daniel Jones. Not putting up the gaudy stats, not going out there and throwing for 300, 400 yards. He's just going out there. He's making the throws when they're there. He's making the runs when they're there. He's doing exactly what you need your quarterback to do, and that's win games. That's all you need. And Zach Wilson at least has the time right now where he can continue to learn this Mike LaFleur system in that offense because he's only in his second year. So he's got multiple years to still continue to grow in that offense with Mike LaFleur and Robert Saleh. We praise Wink Martindale a lot. Give respect to Robert Saleh as well. This guy's an incredible, brilliant defensive mind, and he's starting to now enforce his defense and what he wants in this defense on that Jets team. So how can we not be excited if you're a New York football fan? I'll include Buffalo in this too. We have 3 of the best teams in the National Football League right now with Buffalo and the Giants and the Jets.
No lie.
That's a beautiful thing, isn't it? New York football's back and is better than ever.
I like it, man.
I love it.
And one thing I will say too about the Jets, in particular is the fact that you know they beat the Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? That's already one win in the division. Um, and just to see this team get some confidence like that, you know what I'm saying, within their division, you know, that's a big thing, you know what I'm saying? And what I talked about with the Jets before was, if Robert Sala didn't get to, 7 or 8, 9 wins or whatever, was his job going to be on the line? That was the discussions we were having earlier in the season. But
Hmm.
now I'm looking at it, man. What can the Jets do? If the Jets get anywhere near the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, Salah and them's coming back. So, what is it that we feel like the Jets can improve? You know what I'm saying? Since we've been talking about the Giants and the wide receiver position, obviously is the big bugaboo for us. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Where do you think the Jets can
Quarterback play.
really improve with their team moving forward? You know what I'm saying? Just given everything that we seen, you know what I'm saying? And I'm glad you guys are paying attention to all the teams in the city. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to this podcast, man. You know what I'm saying? My two co-hosts right here, Coach Ed and Jeffy, man, for keeping up on everything. You know what I'm saying? That means a lot. So where do you think the Jets can improve? Because I have an idea, but I want to see where you guys are going to go with this. Where do you think one of the main position is where they can get
It's
better
easy.
at,
It's
as
easy.
moving forward?
That's easy. Quarterback. It's,
Quarterback.
it's going to be the quarterback. Because that quarterback, if he's playing, if he continues to improve himself, they have all the other skill positions in the offensive line. It's the quarterback. If he now remember he was on an injury. This is only his second year. That's where the key is. If he plays and he continues to elevate and they continue to gel, that offense is going to be that. It's going to be competing with Buffalo and Kansas City easy.
No,
Ooh.
he's right. He's absolutely
Think
right.
about it. They have the wide receivers, the tight ends, the
Okay.
running back, and the
They're
offensive
loaded.
line.
Yeah.
And think about the offensive line. I mean, you bring in your third guy to play offensive tackle
Mm-hmm.
recently.
Mm-hmm.
So and you don't even have your number supposed number one in Mekhi Becton. So and
Hmm.
if he comes back hungry and he loses weight, imagine what that offensive line is going to look like. It's seriously. And then
Yeah,
we go to the defense. I mean, you can sit and talk, pick at different points of the defense, but for the most part, that defense is pretty solid. And
they've been
that's all
playing
you
well.
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So it's the quarterback play. I mean, if you want to argue the wide receivers, they just got to gel, but that's still a product of the quarterback.
Nah, I think they're good at wide receiver.
No, I'm
Maybe
saying,
safety. Safety, they could maybe use a little bit of an upgrade. I like their safeties, but maybe they can use like a bona fide, you know, more athletic type safety in the back, or maybe even another cornerback. But
hmm
yeah, I agree with. I mean, and also I think they do need a center because McGovern's all right, but I think
hmm
they do
hmm
need an upgrade at the center position. I think they're
true.
fine at tap. They probably want to get another young offensive lineman too, because I don't think I think the Mekhi Becton stuff might be. I think that might be over because the guy just can't stay healthy. I think he's just got the injury
Yeah,
issues, and that was a serious
I
injury he
don't know if they
suffered.
bring him back
I
or
don't know
not.
if he's. I don't know if he's going to come back. I think they're
He's
going to
still on a
learn
rookie
their.
contract. He's still on a rookie contract.
He's gonna be a backup. I think. I think they're going to try to go upgrade and get
Okay.
another young offensive
Okay.
lineman, but
If he's willing to take that, but if he comes in and
he's going to
he's
have not have a
showing
choice. He's not going to have a
no, what
choice.
I'm
I think.
saying is if he comes in hungry to prove that he's not an injury prone type of a player, he has the talent. It's just what is the biggest issue been with him? His weight, because the weight is the reason why, honestly, the weight is the reason why he's getting injured all the time. The kid was 400 pounds. 400 pounds.
That's
I was
crazy.
400 pounds and I got sick and I know what it does to you. And I'm in my 50s.
Yeah.
And you're talking about a 20-year-old kid? Nah, bro. You can't
He's
play
about the
me
same
at
height as Evan Neal too, and Evan Neal's not that big.
exact. No, he's a little bit shorter because Evan's six
He's
seven. I
like,
think he's 6'6". Is he
is
six
he six?
seven?
I think he's bigger. No, I think Mekhi Becton's
Oh,
like 6'8". I think he's
Oh
a bigger
well,
tackle.
Yeah,
still,
he's bigger. Yeah.
if he gets
You're right,
down to
though.
about 350, 340, it helps his knees. Number one, it will help your knees as a young person. He'll be more athletic. He'll be quicker, and he'll be stronger.
Kai Becton is 6'7",
Oh, okay.
363. That's what he's listed at.
That's what he's listed at. That boy is 400
Hmm.
pounds. That boy
Yeah.
Yeah,
is
every
400.
yeah,
They just don't want to
yeah,
put that down as 400, but it's
right.
360. Nah, that kid is
What
bigger
was
than
his
that.
injury again? He blew out his knee.
I think it was.
I
I
believe
think it was a
so.
knee. Hold
It
on, let
was
me go.
training
Yeah,
camp. It was either training camp or preseason. He blew out his knee. That's his second or third knee injury he's already suffered in his career.
yeah, kneecap.
Oh, it's right. I think
Hmm.
it was like was it patella? It might have
Hmm.
been a patella. Ooh, that's
Yeah,
not
And
good. That's a bad
that's
injury.
but that's
mhm.
the point. If you have that kind of injury, it's going to take you some time. And losing the
Shane
weight,
Lemieux.
exactly.
Mhm.
But Lemieux wasn't that big, so
No, but I'm
but
just
he's
going by
still,
the injury with the
yeah.
patella
So
tendon injury. Yeah.
He has a chip fracture in his right kneecap.
and
Mm.
Mekhi Becton is only 23 years old. That's why I'm saying he's young. He's young.
Yep,
So
23. He'll be 24 in
in
next
April,
April.
yeah.
Can the Jets
Mhm.
trust him though? That's the thing because they've
Okay,
given
even like
3 years. Got to
like you
trust him.
said, bring him back. Even if you said the same thing, good job, Phillies. Like you said, good. If you bring him back and he's a backup, you bring him back, he's a backup. He's still on a. The whole thing is that's why I said the same thing about Kadarius Toney. Is when you got guys on rookie contracts, you have to take advantage of that. You have to because
I agree.
that's money. Because now if you go out and say you bring in a veteran, you're going to pay a veteran a little bit more money. Maybe not, but you're still going to pay them more. And if you draft a rookie, you're going to have to wait till that rookie develops. He's already been here going on his third year. At least he knows what the NFL entails. Worst case scenario, you don't pick a win. A minute, he'll think what this is his third year.
Hmm.
Is
No, I
this
think this is his third year because he was
so
in the same
next year?
draft as Thomas.
So next year is his fourth year, and you can
Yes.
decide if you want to
Oh,
pick up his.
Tony?
No, I'm
No,
saying
Becton.
Becton.
Becton, yeah, Becton,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So you decide if you want to pick up his fifth year option. The same thing we did with Daniel Jones.
Hmm.
They do the same thing. If you don't want to pick up the fifth year option, you let it go, you play it out. You still have him for the fourth year. You see what happens. If he proves to be that elite player, okay, then you take the risk. But if not, you let him go. But at least you got something of value for that fourth year contract. Now, if you're saying trade him and somebody takes him, that's a different story. I'll say go ahead and trade him then. But right now, he's young, he's an offensive lineman, and he would fit in. He's nasty when he does play. He's nasty. If I'm an interior offensive lineman, I want to battle him. I want to battle him because I want to see mano a mano who's better. So, but that's me. That's the competitor. I get it.
But it's like
You
you
know.
said too, Coach. It's what we said about Kadarius Toney. Can this
Hmm.
organization trust him to stay on the field? And right now,
Hmm.
Exactly.
this guy's had. I mean, Tony has had the nagging little injuries. He's not had anything as serious as what Mekhi Becton has suffered in his career. He's had 2 or 3 major knee injuries, and I think the
But
Jets right now.
is it better to have a major injury, rehab, get stronger, get your strength back in your knee or whatever, come back stronger or is it, I don't know, man, to be banged up like every time you turn around, like a
Tony is
falling
different.
sword, it's just like
He's
every time.
different. I've never seen
I
the
never seen it either.
hamstring go to literally 2 years. I've never seen that. It's usually worst case
Left and
scenario
then the
1 year.
right and then
The
you gonna
knee,
do with the guy.
but it's a kneecap, so he can come back next year.
That's what I'm
So
saying. That's an
you
injury
know,
like you could rehab, you could come back, and it may be okay. It may
Oh,
hold up.
Levance,
You
don't
know
put
what I
up that
mean?
stat, bro. That hurts my soul. Don't put up
man,
that
You
stat in the chat. That hurts my soul,
oh
seven
Coach.
no,
innings.
That's a
7
former Met
innings
doing
pitched.
this.
Yeah, Zach Willer,
Rip it out. Rip out
8
the heart right now. Just
strikeouts.
seeing that.
I'm
Jeez.
sorry, I can't lie to you. I'm not gonna lie. I want a Philly and the Yankees World Series because those are my two teams. Can't lie.
Yeah. And I'll be sitting in the corner depressed because I'm watching my pitchers, Syndergaard and Wheeler, potentially win a championship, while my Mets are sitting at home right now. I can't take it. But
Hey
yeah,
man, look, man, the Mets have been a huge disappointment in this
we have money though.
whole. But what you gonna spend it on if the guys don't want to be there? You know what I'm saying? I don't know,
Well,
man.
no, that these guys were not here. It wasn't Stevie Cohen that was the owner
Oh,
when
I remember
Wheeler was let
when
go, and they
Syndergaard
traded
and Wheeler
Syndergaard.
were there. Yeah, I
We
do.
should have never
I
let
do.
Wheeler go. That was a
Yeah,
big mistake. That was a big, big mistake when we let him
I
go.
had the best pitching staff in baseball. Yep.
Yeah, but they could never stay healthy. Every single time, one of them was always hurt. I don't
Yeah,
think we ever
like the
had
Giants
all
wide
five guys
receivers.
healthy. Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, except they're overrated as
Yeah.
hell. The wide receivers, the Mets
They
pitchers
can be
at times
great
all played
if
well.
they were healthy. None of them could stay
The
healthy.
only one
Imagine
that
if.
was actually the only one was great was Shep, and then he just we know what happened with Shep. He just couldn't stay
Right.
healthy. But that's been the story of the Giants wide receiver core for since what 2007, 8. We've always had injury issues. We've had the most.
Since Plexico Burris shot himself.
Yeah, that
That's
maybe
when
was a
it
sign
happened.
because since that time, bro, think about it. We've actually had some talented wide receivers. Steve Smith,
Oh yeah.
damn good wide receiver. What happened to him? Tore his patella tendon. Never was the same. Victor Cruz,
Right.
damn good wide receiver for a couple of years. Tore his patella tendon. Never was the same.
Akeem
Hakeem
Nicks
Nicks,
got hurt.
damn good wide receiver. I loved Hakeem Nicks. Like Will Cruz, Nicks was my guy. Foot, lower leg injuries, never was the same. Mario Manningham,
Shout
yeah,
out to
he drove
Nicks,
us
man,
nuts.
from North Carolina, man.
I
Shout
love
out.
Nicks. Nicks was my guy. That was my favorite player at that time because I'm a wide receiver guy. And then
Me too.
Manningham, he blew out his knee after he left the Giants, but he dealt with injuries as well. I mean,
Hmm.
we had other guys. Sterling Shepard, another good New York Giants wide receiver. He couldn't stay healthy. Odell Beckham, for as much as we all love Odell, he was also banged up a lot too during his career. He missed a lot of
Yeah.
games due to injury, especially how it ended in 2017, where he just pretty much had his leg destroyed on that tackle when we lost pretty
Mm.
much all our wide receivers in that game against the Chargers in Week 5 in 2017. And then, of
I remember
course,
that.
the 2018 season when Beckham missed the last few games, and that was pretty much it. That was the end of Odell Beckham as a New York Giant. But we've always had curses when it comes to injuries at the wide receiver position. We've had talent. We've had a lot of talent at the position for years. We struggled for before that. We've had Amani Toomer and Ike
Hmm.
Hilliard for years, but then we had Burris, Smith,
Hmm.
Toomer, Cruz, Nicks, Manningham, Beckham, Shepard, now Tony. We have Robinson, but these
Hmm.
guys all get hurt. You know what I would love the most, NYG and coach? I'd love to have a wide receiver that's not only good, but he can stay on the field for multiple seasons
You
and
asking
not
for
get
too
hurt.
much.
I
You
really
asking
am.
for way
I
too
really am
much.
asking too much because we haven't seen it for decades. I'd love to see it
Uh,
though. I was hoping Wandell might be the trend to stop, but he got hurt at the beginning of the season. Please just give us a wide receiver that's talented that can stay on the field. I'm begging the football gods. Please let us have a wide receiver that can stay healthy for longer than multiple seasons. Please. I'm tired of seeing good guys get hurt. It hurts my soul.
let me plug in the hockey scores real quick.
All right,
This around the city, man. We're going around the city, man. Devils 4-2 over the Ducks.
let's go.
Um, Islanders 5-2 over the Sharks, and the Rangers are off today. They play
They played
tomorrow
yes.
against the
They played
Sharks.
yesterday. I
Good
think they
job,
won
Devils.
6-4.
Yeah, they played yesterday, I believe, against the Ducks. They beat the Dane. The Ducks been getting beat up on by the New York area sports. They lost 6-4
Hmm.
yesterday to the Rangers, and then 4-2 to the Devils tonight. So again, New York City sports, we on the rise, baby. Let's go.
Hmm.
Let's
On
go.
the way up.
You know what I'm saying?
Because we on the way up.
Let's
Exactly.
get into the basketball here a little bit. I did a whole stream on basketball NBA preview show
Good
with
stuff, bro.
Big Fan Breezy with the Brooklyn Nets vlog, man. Please go check that out, man. That was a dope show, man. Me and him chopped it up, man. We had so much out there, I couldn't even put it all into the stream, man. It would have been like a 4 hour stream. Um, Knicks, Nets in action this week. I put my predictions out there, you know what I'm saying? Everything's going according to plan so far, how I see it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just
Ben
watching the Lakers
Simmons
game right now. I
is
love it.
is is looking is looking pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So I do think I do think the Nets and Knicks both make the playoffs this year. Um, you know, a little bit of an unpopular take by some, but I do feel like this is the year, man.
Mhm.
These teams get it together, man. The Knicks get it together this year. You know what I'm saying? The Nets get it together this year, man. They gotta feel the vibes. Come on, fellas. Come on, y'all. Let's get with the program. We're not this New York City's not losers anymore. Can't be no losers over here. At least get into the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Especially if the dang Jets and Giants make it. So let's get it together, y'all. Knicks, Nets, we in there, man. So how y'all feeling about these basketball teams, man? Um, coming up on the season, man. I think the Nets got what we got. The Pelicans to jump off, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I think
Pelicans fun in Brooklyn.
Zion Williamson's supposed to play in that game, man. So you know what I'm saying. Shout out to Zion Williamson, man. You know what I'm saying. Hopefully the big fella can get back, man. Get his career back on track, man. Get his weight down, man, and stay healthy, man. So what y'all think about these teams coming out of the gate, man? How you think they're gonna start? Anything concerning? Anything you looking for? Far as the Knicks and the Nets, you know, we got the Nick fan and coach, Net fan and Jeffy. You know, I'm a Net fan too, but I do pull for the Knicks as well. But go ahead, whoever want to jump it off.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, this is to me one of the, I would say, the most pivotal season for the Brooklyn Nets. They have to get it done. This is such a pivotal year for this year. It's year 4 with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving.
There's a stream. If Breezy, if you out there, if you want to hop on, you know you're always welcome to hit the link.
Yeah,
Got to get you in
hop
the
on,
Twitter
Breezy.
chat, man, so I can plug the links in for you, so you don't have to come on the stream. You can just hit the link whenever you're ready. Go
All right.
ahead, though.
But I'm hyped up. I'm hyped up for this season because of the fact that the expectations on this team are up now, even higher than they have in the past, because this team is deep. And you know, one of the things that got me excited the most when watching the preseason games, the center position. What I
Claxton.
saw from Nicholas
Mm,
Claxton and
yeah,
Day'Ron Sharp got me excited because these guys were flying around that court. They were blocking shots, getting rebounds. They were putting putbacks by the basket. They were getting those short,
that's
easy
supposed to be
layups.
our weakness, though, right?
It is because they're putting a lot of people say
Supposed to
because they're
be.
putting faith in a lot of young, these young two centers. You know what? If these two guys keep playing the way that they're playing, it's not a weakness anymore. This can become a strength for us. So that's the thing that I took out of it the most. I mean, Ben Simmons, yeah, he's gonna have his shot's gonna come due time. This team is gonna need to build chemistry going into the season because it is a lot of moving parts, a lot of new guys coming on this team. You have second-year players trying to get reestablished in the rotation that didn't play a whole lot last year, and you of course have the guys coming back from injury. A couple of the guys are still not back because Joe Harris and Seth Curry will not be playing to start the season. Both of them are still coming back from their ankle surgeries. And of course, we still missing TJ Warren. Who knows when he's going to come a debut in the season. And Sumner, I believe, is banged up too. But the Nets have depth. And I like a lot of these young pieces that they brought in.
Mm-hmm.
This Utah, Watanabe, I like what this kid's
Yeah,
bringing
a
to the
lot of
table.
people
I
talking
like
about
I
this
like Watanabe. He's good.
guy.
He hits the 3-point
He's
shot on the
very
outside.
underrated. I think
He's
I slept on
gritty.
him a little bit.
I
Yeah,
like
he's gonna
him.
be a player. He's gonna be a
I,
player for sure.
I love our centers. I mean, Nicholas Claxton, I think, is beside. You said that Ben Simmons is one of the keys. I think Claxton is one of the keys to where this Nets team could really go because there are a lot of formidable centers in this league, especially in the East. Nick Claxton has got to become one of those upper echelon centers, and he's going to get an opportunity to score near the basket because of the fact that people are going to be worrying about our outside shooting, as well as, of course, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving driving to the basket. So Nick Claxton is a guy that can take advantage of some of those putbacks near the basket. He's one of those guys that can take advantage of some of those mid-range jump shots if he can develop that part of that game. I mean, Nick Claxton is a guy I cannot wait to see how he's going to do this season. And Day'Ron Sharp has impressed me so far. I think this kid is ready to make some noise in his second year coming out of UNC. So I cannot wait to see what Day'Ron Sharp's going to bring to the table. And I like the fact the team is putting a lot of faith in these two young centers to be able to develop and put it on the floor and give this team what they need. And that's an interior defense, shot blocking, rebounding. Because the last game, Sharp had a double-double. I believe he had about 15 points and about 13, 14 rebounds. He had a nice
Mm-hmm.
put-back baskets. He was blocking some shots. Claxton, we know, is a good shot blocker. I think his defensive game is starting to emerge over there in the NBA. I like what Cam Thomas did on the court. He's another guy. I know that Breezy's been talking about Cam Thomas being one of those guys that can emerge as one of our top scorers on the team. And if he can round
Mm-hmm.
out the rest of that game, we've been saying that. If he can round out the rest of that game for him, Cam Thomas is going to be a player and a guy that they're going to trust in this rotation, especially with the fact we're missing some guys at the beginning of the season due to injury. So I love what I see from the young guys right now on this team. Of course, I mean, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons, like we said, put the distractions to the side. It's time to focus and get this team where we know it can be because this team is deep. And this is going to be a damn competitive Eastern Conference. I'm not sleeping on anybody. I'm not sleeping on anybody in
The
this
East
Eastern
is
Conference.
deep.
They
I'm
are a
not gonna
deep
front.
conference. And I'm
It's
not going to
a
sleep on Coach's
tough
team, too.
conference.
Coach's team is another team to watch out for because the Knicks, if they can get the emergence from their young guys, and if Thibodeau will play these young
Yeah,
guys a good
I'm
amount,
high on the Knicks this
the
year.
Knicks, I think, are going to be a team that people got to watch out for. Detroit is another team you got to watch out for because they got a lot of good young talent that could emerge. Might take them a little bit longer because they are very young. You never know. Cleveland, how is Donovan Mitchell going to mesh in with those young players? Deontay Murray along there with Atlanta, with John Collins back. They just signed Hunter to an extension. He was on that rookie deal. They signed him to an extension. Obviously, they got Trae Young. I mean, Trae Young is one of the best shooters in basketball. Boston, you guys, I don't know if you guys were watching the game, but Boston, they look pretty. They look pretty
Yeah,
solid
I
even
seen
without
they
their head
beat
coach.
Philly.
They look still
Mm-hmm.
pretty. They still pretty look good. And Philadelphia, I mean Harden, he shot the ball pretty solid tonight. Embiid is a problem in the center. Maxey is like Cam Thomas for us. Maxey's a young player that's emerging on that team. He could really take Philadelphia to the next level if that kid could become a legit scorer in the NBA. I mean, Milwaukee, yeah, they're going to be missing Middleton at the beginning of the season. He's dealing with some injuries. I believe he's coming back from wrist surgery, so he's going to miss the first couple of weeks. But the East is going to be a gauntlet throughout the entire year, and the Nets have got to stay focused. They got to stay healthy. They got to play better. They got to play good defense, and they got to get out of the gate quick. They cannot get out of the gate slow like they have in a couple of years before. Because this is an Eastern Conference where if you don't get out quick,
Mm-hmm.
there's a possibility you could get left behind pretty early because of the competitive
Oh yeah.
balance in this conference. The West has got some solid teams, but the East is where the competitive balance
West
is
is more
going to
top
this NBA
heavy,
season.
in my
I
opinion.
agree. The West is more top heavy. I don't trust
Yeah.
those teams like 5 through 8. But the
Right.
East is proving right now that if you do not play well getting out of the gate, you will be left behind because these teams are going to be knocking each other off all over the place. And I can honestly say, I don't know who's going to finish top of the conference. Of course, I want the Nets to be number one. Same thing with you and Breezy, NYG. And of course, Coach is going to want to see the Knicks be one of the top teams. But I don't know because this conference is so damn competitive. It's so damn balanced. I don't know how these
Mhm.
teams are going to fall because it's anybody could come out of this conference this year, and that's what I love going into the NBA season because of the unpredictability with this conference. That's what gets me most excited because I want to see this next team go out there, and there's going to have no excuses because our division alone is going to be tough. I mean, the Nets division is the toughest
Oh
division in
yeah.
basketball.
Atlantic
Like you and
Division, man.
Breezy,
Shout out to Breezy, man.
yep. What you and Breezy said in that video you guys made earlier, the live video. The division in the Atlantic is going to be tough. The Knicks could arguably be the worst team in that division. They're still good. The Sixers are going to be a solid team. The Raptors, don't sleep on that team either. So I mean that Atlantic is going to be a damn good division coming into this season. So I'm excited. I want to see what this team can do coming out of the gate. I mean, I feel
So
pumped
real
up
quick,
about this
coming
team.
out the gate, they got the Pelicans, the Raptors, the Grizzlies, the Bucks, Mavs, Pacers.
That's not easy.
Yeah.
They're going to be
Um
they contesting immediately.
yeah, especially with the Raptors, Grizzlies, and Bucks.
Yeah.
Then the Mavericks. So we're gonna see right away
Mm-hmm.
if this is a team that's gonna that's turned it around. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? We're gonna get that vibe right away. If they come out of there, with a winning record is what I'm looking for. I ain't
yeah,
looking for you you're not gonna beat everybody. Come
no.
out of that little 5 6 game stretch. 4-2, um, uh, uh, uh 4-2. It could be 5-1, something like that, or even if you 3-3 first 6 games, just don't have a losing record, because that's going to be a major test, because you got to think who you facing. You're facing the Pelicans, who a lot of people think are going to be a playoff team this year. The Raptors, that's a division opponent. Even though I got them coming in last, that's an unpopular opinion. I know that's a good team, though. I'm not knocking them. It's just the division is so tough, and I'm high on the Knicks. The
Mm-hmm.
Grizzlies, that could be one of the top teams in the Western Conference, and the Bucks are one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference, as well as the Mavericks. The Pacers, you should beat them. You should beat them, but
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. You know what I'm saying? Every team is tough. This is professional sports. But that being said, the Nets should come out of that stretch, you know, um, with a winning record, and
I want 4-2 the worst. 4-2 the
that's gonna
worst
be
to
my
start.
measuring stick for this team. You know what I'm saying? To watch for those first couple games. Now let's flip it over to the Knicks real quick before I let Coach get in here. They start with the Grizzlies tomorrow. Tough team. Um, then they got Detroit. I'm not high on Detroit. I know Jeffy is. Magic, you should beat them.
Yeah.
Hornets, you should beat them. Then you got
Just
Bucks
stop,
and Cavs.
stop, stop. Just stop from there. Please just stop from there because I just looked at the schedule. I will say this. I'm going to be honest with you. I just looked at the schedule.
What up, Coach?
We're going to know how good the Knicks are going to be by the end of the year. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, looking at it, after those four at Milwaukee, at Cleveland, home to Atlanta, at Philly, home to Boston, at Minnesota, at Brooklyn,
Ooh.
home to Detroit, home to Oklahoma City, at Utah, at Denver, at Golden State, at Phoenix, at Oklahoma City.
Oh, so you do your West Coast trip early.
Yeah, but
Wow.
it could
Mm-hmm.
make or break. Then it's home to Portland, home to Memphis. So we'll be done with Memphis. At Detroit, home to Milwaukee, home to Dallas, home to Cleveland, home to Atlanta, at Charlotte, home to Sacramento, at Chicago, back to back, at Indiana, home to Golden State, home to Toronto, home to Chicago, home to Philly, at Dallas, at San Antonio, at Houston.
Mm,
To me, that's going to really set the tone for the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
that's a tough schedule. I ain't gonna lie.
That is
That's
brutal to
tough.
start.
That's
And I'll be
tough.
honest, I did not look at the schedule. I looked at the first four games, and I got fool's gold. I was like, all right, we got a nice little schedule to start. So blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, Milwaukee. And I'm like, what? But that's also a product of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the conference, coach. It really is a
Yes,
It's
conference.
it's
ridiculously
the
deep.
We
conference, but
broke that
then
down when me and Breezy broke it down. It's a tough conference.
But then again, when you go on the road to the West Coast, I mean, you could say Utah,
West is
you should
always
get
tough,
The West Coast trips are difficult.
Oklahoma City. Oh, we're
especially
going to
the
be done with
top
Oklahoma
teams.
City too. But to go to Denver, Golden State, and Phoenix,
It's two, three
and
of the
then
best teams in the West right there.
exactly. So, and I mean, it's like once you really look at the start of the season, I mean, they got to at least be 500
But
by
don't you
the.
want that as a fan, though, Coach? You want to see
No,
this
yes,
team get
yes,
tested
yes, yes,
early.
yes. Don't get
I,
me
I,
wrong.
I would love that
I
if I
I
was a
want
fan. I
it
want to be
early.
tested.
I want it early. You don't have major injuries right now, other than Quentin
That's the
Grimes, who's
key.
not starting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was just looking at the depth too. We have a good depth chart. The only question is Fournier, but if Fournier's starting, Grimes is out, so
What
Fournier's
happened
going
with
to
Grimes,
start.
if I can ask?
I think it's his foot. Let me double check. I believe it's his foot.
Oh,
Is it a
Grimes out.
long-term injury, or is he going to be back
No,
in the short term?
I think it's short term, but
Okay.
I don't think it's inextensive or anything like that. It's he heard it in practice and
Okay.
but I mean with the second unit, quickly Rose, Grimes, Top, and Hartenstein. You still have Cam Reddish that you can slide into Grimes' spot right now. So still have McBride, still have Sims on the back end and on that third unit per se. So I mean, we do have some decent depth, but again, the whole thing is going to be how do we, just like you guys, how do we start?
Yeah.
How do we start? And Atlanta is going to be tough. Cleveland is going to be tough. Milwaukee is going to be tough. Philly, Boston, Minnesota. With them twin towers, you guys. I mean, just to start alone, I mean, I don't want to get a false sense of hope, but I mean,
Our
to
start's not
me,
easy either. Our start's very difficult as well. Both our teams
It
are all
is.
are going to be starting the gauntlet
so
immediately, but I love it. I want to be tested
yes, no, you
immediately.
want that. That's the whole thing because you know, hey, we'll be done with Phoenix and San Antonio. It looks like we'll be done with a lot of half the West
And I
Coast.
think the thing about it is, y'all, it's just really not a lot of cupcake teams in the NBA no more.
No,
Like,
no, absolutely not.
who's the cupcakes? Maybe
In the East,
Orlando.
especially, there's really like only a couple, like two or three. That's
Orlando,
it.
maybe.
Everybody else are tough.
I don't
Indiana's
know.
not
Charlotte's
really
Look,
even a
tough.
cupcake.
don't sleep on Orlando because they do have some good young players. I mean, even the rookie that I mean, the number one draft pick. I mean, he's good. Don't think he's not. He needs to be developed, but he's good.
Mm-hmm.
He's a dookie. I know you don't like that. So,
I
I
know.
mean, and you also got what's him call his son over there, former Nick, Anthony over there, Cole
Mm-hmm.
Anthony.
Cole Anthony, yeah.
Yeah.
So they do have some pieces over there. They did bring back the kid from what's his Mamba.
Oh,
I think,
Bomamba.
Bo
yeah, I think
Mamba.
they brought. I mean, again, they have some. So again, like you said, you know, it's not going to be a cakewalk in the East. Even Chicago with right now they're starting with what we call it out, but still
Alonzo's out. Yeah.
Oh,
but once he
yeah.
gets back, still
I got
Chicago's
Chicago
still
in
a
the
team.
playoffs.
That's my point. So it's like just like you said. I mean, the East is tough. I mean, when you sit down and you look at the teams, I mean, the Central, the Bulls, the Cavaliers, the Bucks, the Pistons are up and coming, the Pacers are up and coming. Then you go to the Southeast, the Hawks, the Hornets, the Heat, the Magic, the Wizard, even the Wizard. So just like you said, I mean, it's
If
no
Bradley Beal gets any help, that Wizards team could be another team to watch out for.
Bradley Bill and Porzingis for everything you say
And
about
Kuzma
Porzingis
too.
and Kuzma and
Forgot
and
they had Kuzma. You
Hachimura,
brought that. I said, damn, they
And
got
then
Kuzma.
Hachimina, I forgot his name.
Hachimura. Yep.
Got
Hachimura is
Kuzma,
another
man.
kid.
Yeah, so it's like, when you sit down and you go, now the question is to these teams, what do you have once you get past your starting five, seven? Okay, then that's a different story. That's where I think the Knicks have an advantage on some of these teams. I mean, some people may question it, but we still can. Our second unit for the past few years has been better than the starting five.
Yeah,
So,
that is true.
you can throw things, and Hartenstein now gives us a stretch five. He
Hmm.
can definitely shoot. So, and if the guys are shooting a three, then it changes up everything. And Mitchell down low, what he can do, and defensively, and the Knicks are going to play defense. So, and that's
Yeah.
where, I think, right off the bat, Tibbs is
That's
really
good,
going to
Nimmer.
push the defense.
What's good? What's good?
What's up,
But
man?
I'm gonna say this real quickly. I
Mhm.
know NYG. You want to have, like you say, 4-2 for the Nets is to start off like that's what you want. I'm sorry. I'm raising the expectations with this Nets team because with the talent they have on this roster, it's time to start raising the expectations with this Nets team. They have the talent right now where they should be expected to play and beat some of these teams. I meant like some of these upper echelon teams in the East. When we have the depth we have on this roster,
Yeah,
when we have the
they
superstar
should
players
beat
we have on this
Milwaukee. I
roster,
agree, especially
I
without
hope that we should
Middleton.
beat any of these teams. I'm not
Yeah,
afraid of
the
anybody in this
Grizzlies,
conference.
of course.
We can beat the Grizzlies. I'm not afraid of anybody in this team because we have depth. Now we have strong depth on this roster, And I think Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons, these guys got the message from this BS drama that we had to deal with. That it's time to put that stuff to the side and focus on this season and take this team where we know it could go, because the Nets have the talent to be able to win a championship this year. It's all about health with this team, though, and I expect this team to raise their expectations and get to a level that us fans expect this team to be at. So I apologize if I'm like raising up the expectations with the Nets, but we've seen this crap
Nah,
for
that's
3 years with
reasonable
them.
though. Yeah.
I have to raise the expectations with this Nets team and expect them to
Right.
go out there and beat some of these upper echelon teams, and sometimes even beat them convincingly. Because our roster right now, we have one thing that a lot of teams don't have: 3 superstars and good depth. It's just that
A
head
true
coach that
big
worries me.
three.
The head coach
Exactly.
scares the hell out of me with Steve Nash. I don't know what Steve Nash is
Yeah.
going to do. He scares me. That's the one thing that makes me a little worried in injuries. But
He
go
said
ahead,
Ben
Coach. I had
Simmons
to get
didn't
that
need to
out there.
shoot.
Oh, God. I'm tired of hearing that too with the Ben Simmons
Oh
thing.
man,
Shoot.
they
Stop
want to
it.
kill us because of one aspect of his game. You know what I'm saying? Never mind that James Harden can't play defense. Never
He didn't do
mind
it again tonight. He didn't play defense.
Westbrook, as they call him over there. Never mind some of
Wait a
these
minute,
other
wait a minute, wait
these
a
other
minute.
stars
That kills me.
that
That's the problem with
can't
today.
shoot or don't have. Go ahead, coach.
No, I'm sorry. That's what kills me about today's game when you start talking about because a player can't shoot. And then if he can't shoot, he's not an elite player. Hello, Dennis Rodman,
Dennis
anyone?
Rodman,
Yeah,
Bill Cartwright.
exactly.
Have you ever seen Bill
Bill
Cartwright
I
shoot a
watched.
Cartwright.
free
I
throw?
grew up
Well,
watching Bill
Bill
Cartwright.
Cartwright when
Yeah.
he was with the Knicks, when he was with the Knicks, he was
This
a
shit was
20.
awkward as hell, son.
Yeah, but when he was with the Knicks, he was
It
a
was
20 plus
awkward.
scorer until Patrick came in. So
Yeah, nah, I'm not knocking
yeah,
He was
Bill
solid
Cartwright.
with
I'm
the
I'm
just
just
ball,
talking
though,
saying.
about
too.
I'm
yeah.
saying that Bill could score. Dennis Rodman was not a scorer at all.
Mm-mm,
What did
No.
he play?
mm-mm.
Defense and rebounded, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
he was the net in people's backside. He's always bugging you and getting you frustrated and taking you out of your game. That's all you need from Ben Simmons.
Hmm.
You
What
know.
about remember Dell Davis from the
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pacers?
I couldn't
He
The
couldn't
stand
base
that
shoot
scorer.
worth
dude.
a lick,
Either one of
man.
the Davises, him or
Yeah.
Hubert, either one of those
No,
two.
Antonio. It was
Antonio
Antonio.
Davis. Those two drove me nuts with that Pacers team.
Both with Dell
Both
and
of them. I'm
Antonio.
like, I'm
Neither one
sick
of
of
them could
the
shoot.
damn Davis brothers. Coach, I know
Exactly.
you probably have pain from those two with those Pacer teams back in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
I did. I mean, and when Antonio came to us, I loved it because he was that type of guy. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I
Hmm.
mean, again, that kills me, man. Look, he's gonna be fine. He's
He
not
will
gonna
be.
feel the pressure. He knows he doesn't have to be a scorer. He doesn't have to get in there. You got guys. Give him the ball, let him close out at times. Just crash
Yeah,
the board and play defense.
exactly. And we have other guys, like you said, that could shoot. I mean, on
Hmm
those normal nights, we have obviously KD and Kyrie. They're going to be the main scorers. Cam Thomas can score. Patty Mills can score on certain nights. Our centers right now are actually putting up points. I mean, you obviously have Joe Harris and Seth Curry when they come back from injury. They can put up points. So we have guys that can score on this team. Simmons, if he wants to, and the one thing that I look for with Simmons is he's got to be aggressive sometimes to the basket, because when he has that mindset of driving to the basket and drawing fouls, that's where Simmons can do his damage in terms of his shooting. It's not all really about his jump shots or anything. When he's not afraid to drive to that basket, create contact, and get to the foul line, he can score. He can put up points. But Simmons is not a guy that has to go out there and literally be a top scorer on this team, because we have other guys that can do it. So I'm just tired of that mindset. Royce O'Neal's another guy that can put up points too. So I mean,
Mhm.
like, we have other guys that can put up points. Please stop with the shoot stuff with Ben Simmons. I mean, cut it out. Ben Simmons is here for 2 reasons: defense and passing. That's what he's here
Nice.
for.
Let me
Well,
get
Breezy,
what's good, Breezy? What's good, Nimmer? I'm gonna go ahead and let Nimmer chime in. He was up here first, and then we're gonna get to you, Breezy, real quick. Go
What's
ahead,
good?
Nimmer.
What's good, guys? What's good, Coach?
What's good,
Um,
man?
I was on a few Twitter Spaces, which was actually fun. Coach, I have a question for you. We are actually underdogs against the Grizzlies tomorrow. I don't know if that's pointing towards a good sign for us, but we are. Because I was on a Twitter space and we were like telling us that ESPN is saying that we're underdogs. So I don't know if that's a good sign for Knicks, and we got to go beat the Grizzlies if we can. There's no. It's not going to be easy, but if we can, we got to go.
Do you care you're an underdog though? Does it bother you? Because it shouldn't. Any given
You
night,
should be
but
an
the Knicks.
underdog against the Grizzlies. I
You
mean,
should, but it shouldn't bother him because the Knicks could win that
yeah,
game.
I mean,
It doesn't.
I
No,
think they
no,
can.
Jeffy. It doesn't bother me. It's just that I just always wonder why are we underdogs, but it doesn't bother me at all.
Well, I'll tell you, Nimmer, why. You have to respect what Memphis did last year. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they elevated their game last year, so which I do understand the logic. They're not per se the same old Memphis Grizzlies. John Morant is that type of ball player. I mean, he's
Definitely.
big time. He is
Great.
definitely big time. So,
Mm-hmm.
he's putting himself close to. He's on par to put himself and elevate himself to be like a Dame Lillard. Now, will
Yeah.
that team end up being another Portland? That's a different story. But they also have pieces over there. What's the center or forward?
Jaron Jackson.
Yeah,
Aaron
Jackson.
I think
Jackson.
he's out. Is he out for the beginning of the season? I could have sworn he got hurt and he's going to miss like some time.
I don't. Did
I
he?
think I think he might have had some type of injury that he might miss time at the beginning of the season. Jaron Jackson Jr. Because he's the second best player, so that'd be a
Yeah,
major blow to
yeah.
them.
Jaren Jackson is the second best player on that team. I didn't know he
Jaron
was out.
Jackson.
I'm not
Hold
sure,
on.
but I could have sworn I
I'm
heard
looking now.
something where
Hold
he
on a
was
minute.
out.
Hold on. Grizzlies injured latest on Jaron Jackson 1 day ago.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
I think he is out.
see, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he had some injury in the off season that he's gonna have to miss some time.
Yeah.
That's good for
looks
you
like
guys
he-
then.
I mean, they still have a tough squad, though. You can't sit here and say that, oh, just because he's out, he makes or breaks everything.
No,
I
you're
mean,
right, but you can't sell your
yeah,
squad short too. You
you
guys have
can't.
talent as well.
No, exactly.
Mhm.
Does it change the dynamics of the game? Yes. Going to Nimmer's point, but you're also on the road too. So being on the
Yeah.
road, that's a factor. So
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah.
the how
I got
I mean,
Desmond Bain too. He's pretty good. He's
yeah,
decent.
Yeah.
Bain is good. You got Steven Adams down low. That's a
Mhm.
nasty some bitch over there. Excuse my language. So
He is.
Yeah.
He's one of those old school nasty centers.
exactly. So it's like and I mean, he still can score a little bit from the outside. Not great, but he still will pull Mitchell out. So I mean, Kyle Anderson, is Kyle still over there? I've watched Kyle since
I think he is.
he was at St. Anthony's in Jersey, and I've watched the kid, and he was the number one kid in New Jersey back when he was coming out of high school. So, and
Yep.
he's smart, fundamentally sound. Played under Bobby Hurley. Anybody who plays under Bobby Hurley Senior,
Yep.
they're fundamentally sound. So,
I think they
you know,
got Dylan Brooks there too, I
yep.
believe. So that's another
So
key player on
to
their
answer your
bench.
question, Nimmer, that's why. That's
That's
some of the
why.
reasons why. So, but okay, Jackson is out. Okay, maybe it evens it out. So, and
Right.
I mean, how it's going to be a battle to me, it's now going to be a battle of the point guards.
Mm.
You know,
But
Mhm.
I'll just be honest too, and this is not a shot at the Knicks, but
Mhm.
the Knicks right now have that reputation of they're not going to get these types of advantages because of how poor of a basketball team they've been for a very long time. So people are not going to give them that respect. Similar to what the Giants and the Jets have been getting for years, where people
Mhm.
aren't giving them the respect until they see them string together wins after wins after wins after wins, and then you'll slowly start
Exactly.
seeing
I
that
don't. I
respect
don't.
be brought back.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want it.
No, I
Like
don't want it either. I don't care if we get respect or
keep,
not.
yeah,
I don't.
keep that same energy, especially when it comes to the Giants
Yeah, I don't care if
and
we
the
get
Nets.
respect now.
Like y'all stay on that side. You know what I'm saying? Keep your asses over there, because guess what? When we get rolling, now your ass want to jump on the bandwagon.
Oh, they're jumping
This
already,
shit, this
bro.
shit. Don't get me started with these Giants fans,
Oh, they're
because
jumping. You know what's happening, bro.
these
They're jumping.
these motherfuckers, was the same ones in the media bashing this goddamn team left and fucking right.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't give us a shot in hell to beat anybody this year. Still got us as underdogs to the goddamn Jacksonville Jaguars.
How's that
Yo,
possible?
Look,
I
How are
look,
we
I
look,
heard about that. Yeah,
underdogs?
look,
yeah, I heard
look,
about
look.
that.
Keep
I
y'all's
love it.
asses over
I
there,
love it. I love
please.
it.
It makes me
I
happy.
love
It
it.
gives me joy.
Right.
Keep doubting us. We'll just keep making you look foolish every single week.
Yeah.
Listen. Always remember something. It goes back to 2007, the first one with Eli. The Almighty Patriots, right? The
Yep.
Almighty Patriots, the undefeated. They were going to be the first one since the Dolphins to go undefeated and all this and that. And what did we do? We went and we took it.
Yep.
And you know why I love it? Because
Yep.
it's that much sweeter. Because why? We were the underdogs. So you know
Mm-hmm.
what? Go ahead, doubt us, whatever. We'll be underdog. We'll be underdog.
That's
That's
right,
fine.
coach.
We'll win it.
That's true.
We'll
We'll
Yo,
keep
win it.
doing this. We'll keep
I,
doing this
Let's
every
let
single
Breezy
week.
get in there, man. Go ahead,
Go
Breezy.
ahead, Bree.
to add to what the coach said, I second that. I agree that there's a glory with winning when nobody believed in you but you, like fan
Hmm.
base wise.
It's more
You know what I mean?
satisfying.
Like
Yeah.
you know why your team could win. Everybody else could have their opinions. Some of them popular, some unpopular. Plug. But case in point is when you part of the fan base and you believe in your team and they kind of show the world that you were right or your fan base is right. It to me, I glorify some of that. You know what I mean? It feels good, even if the team isn't all the way successful, like winning it all. Just the fact that
Hmm.
we're competitive, shows that we have purpose. I was listening to your stream earlier. Y'all was talking about Barkley and how he has purpose, and I think all players who play with purpose, you see it on the field or you see it on the basketball floor.
Oh, it's so satisfying seeing Barkley playing well. I love it. It makes me feel
Hmm.
so good to see Barkley out there playing great football. So these clowns that keep saying that Barkley is washed, trade him, all this stuff. Yeah, you still want to trade him? Still want to trade him? Go ahead.
But
Keep
that's what
saying
I'm
you are.
saying. But when Barkley was the underdog, you still believed in him when he went through the injuries, when you know what I'm saying, all of that.
Hmm.
And I just think that the Nets, we've been underdogs for a long time, and now we like the how you say the favorites. But people not saying we're gonna win it, but with our team, is we you fans do expect some success.
Yes.
Um, that being said, I feel like you know, getting back to what Jeff said, because like I said, I was watching the stream. We got a lot of players outside of Katie and Kyrie that could help us win games. Everybody, my unpopular opinion is that I would say that Davon Sharp and Nick Claxton are going to surprise a lot of people.
Talk your talk, bro. That's
Every
right.
everybody keeps saying, "Oh, we need another center," and I keep telling people, man, Deshaun Marks and Joe Tsai, they sitting somewhere with Bahama Mamas and margaritas. They not worried at all. Like
I love those kids.
I never seen a fan base ask for something so much, which is a center, and the team just did not go get one. And they said, "Yo, we're gonna roll the dice with Nick Claxton and Daron Sharp." And in respect to both of those guys, they put in the work in the off season. And if you've seen
Mm-hmm.
them, you could tell they added some muscle. You could
Yes.
tell they were really they work ethic is serious. You know what I'm saying? And I'm excited, man. We play the Pelicans, and I like Zion, but not tomorrow. You know what I
Oh,
mean? I
Yeah.
think
Not
I,
at
no,
all.
not at all.
I think we give them work, man. I think they're gonna come out and they're gonna be strong. But I think because we got Ben Simmons, and to add to what Jeff said, yeah, he adds passing, but he also adds rebounding in a like
It's
a
Hmm.
true.
very
Good
good
point.
way. Like if
Mm.
the Nets, then we were giving up a lot of second chance points.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that shit. When I heard Cam Thomas in a post game interview, and he was like, that can be deflating. Like you would play great defense for 23.9 seconds, they put up a shot, and then they get the offensive rebound. It's like, damn, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, I'm just saying that to say that a lot of the things or a lot of the boxes we were supposed to check to going into this season, we did. And a lot of fans are saying that we didn't because we didn't get a center. But again, I feel like Nick Claxton, he put on that, he cut his head. You know what I mean? He cut his head. He did everything to make fans feel like, yo, you could believe in me. And the numbers show in the preseason, but again, it's about the regular season and the playoffs and the finals. But case in point is the Atlanta plane. I'm confident in the Brooklyn Nets. I was saying the other day that I
Me
think we
too.
go 2 in our
Me
10,
too.
15 games. What y'all think?
No, I'm very confident in this basketball
Yeah.
team right now because the depth on this roster, and I'm glad you said that, Breezy, that you talked about those two young centers because those two guys really had very, very impressive preseason games. Both of them went in there and they did exactly what this team wants from their center position. That's shot blocking, put back shots, rebounding, scoring it near the basket. That's what both these guys did. And that's the
I'm
one
gonna
thing that I
I'm gonna
took out
tell
of it
you
the
something that
most.
I
I really
noticed.
was happy with that, with both those guys.
I noticed that like KD and Kyrie, they playing a lot more relaxed.
They
It
are.
seemed to me like KD, he just going out there. I mean, he just I mean, he playing loose. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And
Yeah,
that's what you need and you want to see from your star players. You don't want to
Yep.
see them out there pressing. You know what I'm saying? I want to see them playing relaxed, loose, having fun, not stressed, not worried about contract or trades or anything. That's why it was so important for them to quiet that noise down. Now you see these guys that coming in there, they focus, they relax. Speaking on Dayron Sharp and Nick Claxton, um, your big man is your big man. They got to play big. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
I see
yeah,
Claxton playing big right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see these boys go down the regular season and get pushed around in the post. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Putting on muscle for a big man is very important. You know what I'm
yes,
saying? You look at a guy like KD. KD been skinny all his life, but KD don't play five. When you play in the five, you gotta have strength and muscle down there, or you're just gonna get boxed out and bullied in the post. You know, so I'm looking at that from Claxton and from a Dayron Sharp. Um, look, man, those guys look like they got stronger. They look like they're ready to take on the challenge with some of these bigger centers in the East. You know,
yeah,
you looking at
absolutely.
over there at big boy over there in Boston. You know what I'm saying?
Robbie Williams,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Al
yeah,
Horford.
both of
Yeah.
them. You know
And
what
then
I'm saying?
Embiid.
So
Embiid in
Embiid,
Philly.
these are bigger guys. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So
you have
you
no idea
need.
how bad I want to play that Sixers team and like put a lesson on Embiid. I
Oh
got venom.
man,
I had venom when I was watching that game. I had venom dripping down my teeth because I'm thinking about what that Boston team and what that Philly team did to us in the previous years, as well as that Milwaukee team. And that's all I had thinking when watching that game. I'm like, I got revenge on my mind for what those basketball teams did to us in the playoffs. That's what I had the entire time. But I got a question real quickly, and then I'll shoot it to you guys. What do you guys think about Royce O'Neal being that shooting guard to start in the starting lineup instead of like a Joe Harris or Seth Curry? For me personally, I think he's a better fit because he gives that defense, that team, the one thing that they need, and that's the 3-point shot as well as that wing defense. I think he complements that starting lineup a lot better than a Joe Harris or a Seth Curry. And I think those two guys, you could throw them on the second unit and provide that scoring on that second unit along with Cam Thomas. So I just wanted to see like how you guys feel about that, like Royce O'Neal in the starting lineup for the season.
I think it's dope, man. I think Sean Marks. What people don't know about Sean Marks is that he made a good pick by trading that draft pick for Royce O'Neal because Royce O'Neal played 77 out of 82 games
Mm-hmm.
last season for the Jazz. And if you watch the press conference for Sean Marks, he said, "Yo, we need players that's going to be reliable and available." So what did he do? He
I
went out
need
and got
2 minutes.
somebody. He went out and got somebody that played 77 out of 82 games. Shit, that's reliable like a month. Know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I said that to add to what Jeff said. I agree. I think he is a better fit next to Kyrie Irving because now we don't have a weak spot on defense. Shout out to Joey, but I just think he's more of a we'll put you in the game when when we got the lead and the stars need a rest. You put
Yeah.
Joey in a situation where he got to come back and tie the game, and he's going. In my opinion, he's going to fold like lawn Sunday, like weekend laundry, man. But you
We
put
already
him in a
saw it a couple of years ago against Milwaukee where he couldn't hit a shot at all.
right. That's what I mean. Like, but if you put him in a situation which is advantageous for a Joe Harris, where we got a 5 point lead, he gonna go off because the
Yeah.
pressure not on him. Everybody can't play under pressure. You know what I mean? But yeah, to back to what Jeff said, yeah, I like Royce O'Neal in the lineup, and I think that's part of the reason why we're gonna be a top 10 defense in the league this season is because of Royce O'Neal and Ben Simmons' ad.
Yeah. I am the center position as well with Claxton. I think he's going to be a big defensive help as well. But coach, I want to ask you with your Knicks, like how is Tom Thibodeau, you think, going to put out that rotation for the Knicks? Like how is he going to put out his starting lineup, and how is he going to put together that bench, and what players are going to get a certain amount of minutes
Right
going
now,
in, night out?
right now it's saying the depth chart is. Hold on a second. Let me go here. It's saying Brunson, Fournier, Barrett, Randall, Mitchell Robinson are the starters. Now this is per ESPN. It's saying the second unit is Quickly, Rose, Grimes, Toppin, and Hardenstein. And then basically on the third unit, you have Cam Reddish with Toppin, Grimes, Rose. Fourth, Ryan Arachne CV, I can't say this guy's name, Micah Holick, Jericho Sims. And then fifth unit is McBride, Reddish, Fournier, and Julius Randle. So,
Oh, McBride's that low?
Yeah, I
so
heard Grimes is out. That's true.
yeah, he's out right now for tomorrow, foot injury. So they said I don't think they played him in the preseason for the last two games because he hurt his foot. So but all that's going to do is move Cam Reddish up one spot. If they're going to go
Yeah.
10, but if anything, the only question I have right now is in terms of Fournier, what happens with him because of course he's the defensive liability.
Yeah.
Do you move D Rose up, or is it Quickly who's going to move up? And then how does that hurt the second unit? But then again, like I said, you can also move McBride up to, or Ryan Diac,
Just call him
Arcidiacono, that's his name.
D-Rack. Yeah, just call him
No,
Iraq.
Arcidiacono, that's his
Okay.
name. So, I mean, again, it's the first game, so I think he'll balance it out. But of course, you're going to have your closers when it closes. But the main players are going to be those starting five, and then probably Obi, Quickly, and Hartenstein, and then you'll probably work D Rose in. Because he's coming back from an injury last year. Even though he's in good shape, you don't want to overload him right off the bat. So
Mm. What
so I
about
mean, go ahead.
what about you, NYG? What do you think about the Royce O'Neal starting in the line, like the starting lineup for the season consistently instead of a Joe Harris or a Seth Curry if it's a better fit for that Nets lineup? And how would you divide the rotation for the Nets going into the season? Like who would start, who would be key players off the bench, etc.
Um, I think I like O'Neal starting. Only because of the defense aspect
Mm-hmm.
that he's gonna bring to the table because you know you got Joe Harris coming off an injury, and Seth isn't gonna give you much on the defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think this team definitely has to tighten up on the defensive end. Um, and like you guys were talking about with Sharp and Claxton, is definitely going to help that they're improving. Um, a guy like Royce O'Neal will definitely help.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and also Ben Simmons will definitely help.
Mm-hmm.
So the main thing is we know KD can score. We know Kyrie can score. You know what I'm saying? We know Joey Harris can put it in the bucket. So can Seth, Patty Mills, some of these other guys, Cam Thomas. Um, we need defense, man. I look, man. We need defense and rebounding, man. So I'm with you on having Royce O'Neal start at the two. Um, I wouldn't keep it at as concrete. I think depending on who you're playing, a particular night, you can swap a guy in or out. Whether that be Seth, Harris, whoever else. You know what I'm saying? I would keep it like that. I do want them to give Ben Simmons some time with the second unit.
Mm-hmm.
While KD and Kyrie are off the floor, maybe
Mm-hmm.
you can have him be more of that ball handler he was, and kind of swap back to go from the ball handler position to the power forward position when KD and him are out there. I think that's a rotation you can use. Um, and then you can use a shooter rotation, where you have Kyrie, uh, who am I thinking about? Seth Curry, and then maybe you slide KD to the four. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? And you can have a rotation like that. So there's options when you have the flexibility that this team has, but ultimately, I want them to play the best guys depending on the matchup. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
when you have a team, physical teams that you might have to play, like Boston, I don't, I think having a Royce, not Royce O'Neal, but yeah, who am I thinking about? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Having him out there, would definitely help. You know what I'm saying, as opposed to having just a shooter out there. Because you
Yeah.
got to guard. You got to guard people. You got to play defense. You got to play good team defense. You know what I'm saying? I do like the fact that the Nets are running the court more.
Yes.
And that's a tribute to Ben Simmons. You know what I'm saying? His rebounding and passing ability. That's going to
Mm-hmm.
get you easy buckets. That's going to allow you to get back on defense and set your defense up. You know what I'm saying? I want this team to be more focus and discipline on the defensive end. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to get you through the playoffs. You can
Mm-hmm.
make the playoffs scoring a bunch of points. You're not going to win shit unless you play good defense and you can rebound the basketball. Bottom
Mm-hmm.
line, man. And this team hasn't shown the ability to do that in the past. They can put up points, but you got to stop the other team from scoring too, and you got to get rebounds. That's why what you're saying about Sharp and Claxton is definitely going to pay dividends if those guys are ready to take
And a
that
guy like
next step.
Markeith Morris too. That's a
Markeith
specific
Morris
reason
as
why we
well.
signed him. Is for that reason.
Yeah,
Defense,
that's
rebounding.
what the Nets need. The Nets need toughness,
Yes.
defense, and rebounding. We know we can score. We got one of the best scorers in basketball, maybe two of the best scorers in basketball. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Not worried about this team being able to score. You got Seth, you got Thomas, you got
Joey Buckets.
Patty Mills, Joey Buckets. You know what I'm saying? If TJ Warren can come back, so you got guys that can score. The main thing is, can you play defense and rebound the basketball
Mm-hmm.
when you need to in the fourth
Mm-hmm.
quarter? So
Yep.
that's what I'm looking for this team, man. But that's kind of how I break it down, man. You know what I'm saying? Play the guys based on the matchup. We know who the three, four solid guys are going to be in there. You can flop those other positions, based on matchups. But
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you go ahead, Breezy.
Yeah, no, I just add to what you said. As far as fast breaks, when I looked at that stat last season, the better teams with the better records, Golden State Warriors, they were number one last season with fast breaks. And
Yep.
it's
You
not
need
just
easy buckets.
yeah, it's like not just fast break points. It's like fast break points, but it's momentum, it's tempo,
Mm-hmm.
it's and again, this game is a game of streaks. You could be down by 15 points and be right back in it in the next 5-10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I said that to say that comes with fast breaks. Like you said, we were saying earlier about just getting the rebound, not giving them second chance points. You know, you got Ben Simmons, and you know when you watch the game, it plays into more of how you view it as a vlogger or a fan. Like you see the assist from the fast break from Ben Simmons, him throwing alleys to Nick Claxton from half court. Like
Yeah.
what?
Mm.
Like, I don't even know if y'all seen that play. He threw fucking Cam Thomas an alley. I mean, Cam Thomas didn't dunk it, but you know, it was still an alley. I
Mm-hmm.
never seen
Yeah.
Cam Thomas catch an alley before Ben Simmons came to the team.
Mm-hmm.
He's such. And again, my debate for Ben Simmons was, you know, they always ask him about offense, but when you tally up what the assists are and his points, they almost 30 points a game. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And I'm saying the better players in the league. I mean, even maybe an MVP or the scoring champ, you know, averages 25 to 30 points a game. And if he's
Mhm.
production wise giving us that, as a fan, I'm happy with that. I don't need Ben Simmons to be the second leading scorer. Just adding to what Jeff said, second or third. I got Kyrie as one. And the reason why I got Kyrie as one is because you can't guard KD without the basketball now. If you try to guard KD without the basketball now, Kyrie Irving can break down any defense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's going to make the defense react. You're either going to foul him or he's going to score, and or not. But I'll, as a fan, take the odds. And case in point is that's what we lacked last season. The whole offense was facilitated through a James Harden, and he was good, but I see it different with a Kyrie Irving. I see him breaking defenses down, making defenses react, opposed to them sitting on Kevin Durant. Now you can't sit on him, and the fact that you can't sit on him, he can move around, he can do picks and rolls and pick his slips and back screens and get other people free.
Yep.
And I'll say this to land a plane because I wanna hear what y'all gonna say. Nick Claxton and Dayron Sharp on that pick and roll, it's beautiful, man.
Oh, it's a
And
thing of beauty. I love it.
I contribute that to Igor, the assistant coach. I look at our coaches like a team now, you know. And I was watching Jared Dudley on T.O. Penson's podcast, and he said that every coach has a job. So the head coach is the head coach, right? He does everything, or you know. And then the first assistant coach is the offensive coordinator. The second one is the defensive coordinator, and the third is the player development coach, and so on and so forth. So I think this is the more, how you say, this is the best. Uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, this is the more cohesive, the best cohesive group, best cohesive
Complete.
team
We are a
that I
complete
yeah,
team. We're
complete. Yes,
pieces that just like go off what you said. We have puzzle pieces that fit together a lot more than what we had the past couple of years. Where we had a mismatch of a bunch of guys that just did not fit together. And when you were saying before, Breezy saying about Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant driving to the basket and breaking the defense down, guess what we have on the outside that could also hurt teams? We got sharpshooters. We got 3-point sharpshooters that can knock down those threes consistently. So if you do have a Kyrie Irving breaking down the defense, or even Ben Simmons if he plays aggressive, drives that basket, guess what? You got a Joe Harris, you got a Patty Mills, you got a Seth Curry or
I'm
Royce
glad you
O'Neal or
said that,
Cam
Jeff,
Thomas
because
sitting out there shooting them threes wide open.
let's not act like Ben Simmons can't score at all.
He can. When he's aggressive, he can.
Oh, he
yeah.
can't shoot. Yeah, he can. Is layups and dunks considered shots? Yeah, you put the ball in the hoop. I don't give a damn how you do it. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
I think
saying? I don't care
I
if
agree.
you know what I'm saying. You do the underhand shot, like
I
my
don't care
man
if you do
was
a hook shot the entire time, thinking that you're Kareem
right.
Abdul-Jabbar. You're just throwing up the
But
hook the whole time. As long as the
let's score the
ball's going in the
basketball.
basket, that's all that matters. But just like off the court real quickly, the one thing that Ben Simmons does, if he needs to score and he plays aggressive to the basket, that's where Ben Simmons can put the ball on the bucket. Because we did that against Milwaukee in the preseason. He was going to that basket, creating his own shot, getting fouls on the opposing team, and going to the line. But when Ben Simmons wants to play aggressive and play on the offensive side, that's when Ben Simmons can put up points. But he don't need to score. We got enough guys that can put the ball in the basket. Thank you. What he just said. This is Jay-Z TV. He's right. When Ben Simmons plays aggressive, that's when he puts the ball into the bucket. You're absolutely
Yo,
100% right.
Shout
yo,
out
this is
to
JTV. That's
this
my guy,
is
man.
oh that's your guy, yeah, man. Shout out to you. This is JTV, man. If you don't mind,
He
man, hitting that like and hit that like and subscribe button for me, brother, man. I appreciate you typing in, man.
Mm-hmm.
he
Definitely.
helped me shoot the video to We Rivals when I was dissing Knicks fans.
Oh yeah, yeah, no doubt, man. That's dope, man. I plugged that into the to the show we had at the end of it, man. Go check that out. That song is
Yeah,
fly, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate that. But nah, yo, y'all valid, man. I mean, after 10 games, what y'all think the Brooklyn Nets look like?
I'm gonna go 7-3.
All right, that's
Same
solid.
thing. 7-3.
Yeah,
That's my low
that's
point.
solid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nah, me too. I got us 8-2, 7-3. I'm gonna say 8-2 because I'm biased.
That's fine. I
All
feel the
right.
same way. I like it. But
I'm
I want
biased too
to.
to a certain degree. You know what I'm
I
saying?
got another question. I'm just throwing because I'm loving the NBA talk. I'm pumped up for the season. But
The
what's one of these
season started
basketball teams?
today.
What one of these basketball teams this season can you just like you cannot wait to play? Like what teams are you looking on that schedule and you're circling that schedule? I know we're gonna say the Knicks because the inner city rivalry, but which one of those teams on that schedule right now are you looking on there and be like, I can't wait to play this
Philly.
basketball team?
Philly. That's my
Mm-hmm.
team. And I got Philly. Unpopular opinion alert. You know what I'm saying? I need a graphic for this. Woo, 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 woo. Unpopular opinion alert. I got Philly and the Nets in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Ooh, I love it. Oh, I love it. I
And I
love it
think
so
this
much.
I think this Ben Simmons revenge. Revenge.
Be right
ben
back,
Mm.
y'all.
Simmons Ben Simmons about to get his revenge on the Philadelphia 76ers, man, for real, man. So I can't wait to play Philly. Obviously Boston would be another one, but um definitely Philly. Go ahead.
I'd probably have to say Boston is my number one because of last year. That just got a sour taste in my mouth. The way they beat us, just sweeping us, making us look like we didn't even belong on that court. I think all those guys are looking at that Boston team and be like, that's the team, but we got to try to go in there. We got to let them know that what happened last year, it was just a fluke. We're not going to let it happen again. Obviously, Milwaukee. I mean, because of what happened a couple of years ago, want Milwaukee. I want to get Milwaukee. That's the team that if we did beat Boston, I would say the entire time I want Milwaukee. That's the team I wanted because 2020 and 2021 that got me a sour taste because we were
Mhm.
this close to getting into the
Yeah.
next round.
Mhm.
And obviously Philadelphia because I want to shut and beat up. That guy's talked so much smack.
And Harden, man. I don't
Harden
I
too.
don't
I
I
don't
don't
want
like
Harden to get that satisfaction that he's got the upper hand on us. I want to shut him up.
like Harden. You can get one of those for real,
Yeah,
bro.
exactly. I want to go. I want that team too. I want.
Gonna force your way out,
And of
man.
course the Knicks, the inner city rivalry. I mean, like the Knicks and the Nets is always a fun matchup when we play against
But
one
shout out to
another.
Breezy. Is it really a rivalry?
No, right now until the Knicks prove otherwise.
They
No
gotta
offense,
win the
Coach
games.
Nimmer.
You gotta make it interesting. It's kind of like, man, and I'll throw shade on my squad here a little bit with the Giants. I mean, are we really rivals with Philly at this point? We gotta
Or
beat
even
them.
Dallas.
You know what I'm saying? Dallas,
They
we
have
get
beaten
them
us a
from
lot.
time to time. Philly, we never beat,
No. Well, we did beat them
especially in
last
Philly.
year. We did beat
You
down
know,
Philly last year, but in Philly,
yeah, we
yeah,
got
we
them
did beat
last
them.
year. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But I'm talking about when it counts. This year, it's shit gonna count. So I'm looking for us to beat Philly. You know what I'm saying? Especially what they did to us, keeping us out the playoffs in
Mm-hmm.
2020. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, it's gonna
yeah.
be it's gonna be a lot of words talked if we're both in a position where we're at the top of that
Mhm.
division fighting. I know we're deviating off basketball right now, but if we're in that to point where we're both fighting for that top of the division, it's gonna be fun. I cannot wait to talk trash
Mhm.
with those Eagle fans, and I want payback. I want payback so bad against that Eagles team and
No
Cowboys too,
doubt.
both of them.
No doubt, man. But let's let Nimmer get in here, man. If you got anything you want to comment on
Yeah,
Knicks, Nets, it's around the city, man. You can
true that.
ask anything you want, bro.
Yeah.
It's a, it's a question about the Knicks. Who do you guys like for the Knicks? Like a quick question. It's anybody can answer it. Coach, you can answer it. Who do you think will have a better game, like better time playing tomorrow? RJ Barrett or Julius Randle? I'm picking RJ Barrett. I feel like RJ Barrett's going to do much better over Julius Randle.
Can I say none of the above?
Yeah,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
say Julius, and I'll say Julius because if Jackson is not playing, he might take advantage of the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but then again, RJ is just on another level right now. I mean, it's hard for me to pick against him, but I have to go. I mean, Julius, and Julius wants to prove that last year was an aberration, that he is and is starting a new season. So I'm gonna go with Julius to start.
Julius Randle.
I'm gonna go RJ Barrett.
RJ Barrett.
I'm gonna go
Let's
RJ
go.
Barrett. Go RJ Barrett, man. I think RJ Barrett. And I'm like I said, I'm high on the Knicks this year. Motherfuckers, don't disappoint me. You know what I'm saying? I'm backing y'all motherfuckers this year. You
Until
know what
we
I'm
play
saying?
them.
So I'm high on RJ Barrett. And I do think RJ Barrett is gonna show out. I think he is on the brink of superstar status.
Yeah,
It's
me too.
Hmm.
just yeah, he's right there, man.
I
He's
agree.
right there, man. You know what I'm saying? And this is his year to to look. The Knicks, this is my team. Julius Randle, yeah, you all right, but
Hmm.
bruh, you know what I'm saying? This is my squad.
Yep.
I want to see that. I want to see that from RJ this year, man. For real, man. And he's got a chance to come out smoking, these first
Yep.
couple games. So I think he has a big game, man. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, Jeff.
Well, obviously, I could pick between Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett, but I'm gonna go off the grid because I just sometimes like going off the grid. I'm gonna say Jalen Brunson. I want to see what
Hmm.
Jalen
There you go.
Brunson brings to
I
this
had a feeling you
offense.
was gonna go there. Yeah.
I want to see what Jalen Brunson. You gave him that big deal in the offseason. He's your point guard right now on this team. I want to see what Jalen Brunson could bring to this Knicks team. Something that the Knicks have lacked in a very long time is a point guard, an established point
Mhm.
guard that can control the outside for that Knicks team. They can run that Knicks offense. I want to see what Jalen Brunson could do to help set up plays for R.J. Barrett, for Emmanuel Quickly, for Julius Randle, Obi Toppin, uh, Mitchell Robinson, etc. All these guys. So Brunson is the guy that I want to see on this Knicks team. How he can impact this Knicks roster going into this season. If he
They
could
play
make
on
that big of a
ESPN
difference.
tomorrow. Oh
Oh, you guys are on
shit!
ESPN?
Yeah.
Oh, we're not
Oh,
on
that's what's up.
ESPN. Yeah,
I
we're
can
not even
actually
on
watch it.
ESPN.
That's what's up. That's
I can't
cool.
even. I'm
Don't
actually trying to get.
disappoint me, Nick. Don't disappoint me. Cause if you do,
Hey, you're a
I'm gonna be
Nets
on.
fan, man.
I'm gonna
Hey,
be on your ass. Trust me. I don't give the yeah.
Since he said that, MIG, if Tom Thibodeau right now, please play the young players. Please play the young.
I think
Young
he is.
players are our future.
Yeah, he
It's
needs
But
to
not.
play
once
the
you
It's
play
young
with the
more.
players,
young,
but hey,
It's
look,
more
you
not
got to play who
playing.
performing. If the young
It's
players ain't
more. It's.
ready,
Go ahead.
go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
coach.
No, go ahead.
no,
Go ahead.
coach, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's for me. It's more develop them properly through playing time.
Right,
If they're
Yes,
not producing, yeah, you're right. Yo, you can't hurt winning
can't
at
force
the
it.
expense of because we're not in that position. If we were
yeah,
like a Detroit or Orlando or Oklahoma City, then yeah, you know what? Screw that. Play the young guys, develop them. But
yeah,
you brought
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson in here, man. You got certain vets in here, so develop them, yes. Play them, yes. I want to see them play, but not at the expense of winning. And
exactly.
it's some fans are going to be unhappy to hear that, but what is it that you want? Do you want to win? Do you want to build a winning program? Because You say you want, you're upset because top talent don't want to come here. Well, top talent wants to come if you're winning first and foremost. Plain and
Yep.
simple.
hmm
If you're not winning, they're not going to come.
Decent
So
point
that's
with our
pretty much
Exactly.
football
it.
team. Decent point with
Exactly.
our
Coach,
Yeah,
football
man.
team.
I actually agree with that point. I actually agree with that point. Actually, like it's better. I want young players to play, but I agree with your point. Like it's probably better to look at see what Jalen Brunson can do and everything for
Hmm.
definite.
Here's a tip. How about the Knicks take a little bit of a page of what the Giants are doing this year and the Jets in a way? Don't go in there with your expectations way too high, but then
Sorry. Sorry. Nah,
you're
I
good
just
over there, Coach. You good?
I just opened up Twitter and Bleacher Report and it says Chuck thinks the Lakers should trade Russ already. 34 seconds. This was just posted 34 seconds ago.
Wow.
I'm like,
34
damn, Chuck.
seconds
Oh
into
my!
it.
I'm like,
Ain't they
yo,
losing that bad? What?
I, I,
I think
I,
it's close so far.
I'm like, because I'm not watching the game, so I don't know what the hell is going on. But I'm like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's
it's
damn,
actually
going
a
on?
close game right now between the
Yeah, it
Lakers
is
and the
close.
Warriors.
what the hell is
Russ
Chuck
is
Yeah,
talking about?
59-52.
He fell off a cliff, dude. That dude fell
Oh
off a
my
cliff
God.
his career.
Let's see. Yeah, 59, 52. What's the stat say?
Yeah,
LeBron
LeBron
14, Davis
is
15, Russell Westbrook 11
15.
points. What
He's
the
got 11
hell?
points.
He's like 5 of
He's 5
11.
for 8.
I mean,
Yeah,
5 of 8, 3 assists, 6 rebounds.
It's actually an
This Chuck,
efficient game for us.
you know what? That's Chuck being Chuck then. That's
that's
Chuck
very
Yeah.
being.
efficient for us. Yeah.
Chuck likes throwing out those takes sometimes out of nowhere. Just like, rile up the entire Twitter universe over there
Let
and
me
make
see what.
people like, well, what is he talking about? Russ is playing well. Why do you want to trade him already?
Let me
Like
see.
Chuck likes to stir the pot a little bit.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But if we ain't got nothing else on the basketball, not a whole lot to talk about baseball wise, unless you got some on the Mets, Jeffy. The Yankees won tonight. You know what I'm saying? So
Congratulations to you
they'll
guys.
be going on to the
Beat Houston.
American
Oh
League
boy.
Championship Series to
Beat
face the
Houston.
dreaded Houston Astros.
Mm.
So here we go again, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Can
Isn't
this
it the way
team?
you want it, though? Don't you want the
It's got to
Astros?
be this way.
Of
Yeah,
It's
you
got
course
to
we
got
be
to
this
do.
way.
beat
It's
them.
got to be.
It's like the
It's
Red
got to be.
Sox. The Red Sox need to beat you guys if they
Yep.
eventually want to win that title. That's exactly what
hmm
happened. This is what you guys should want. Beat that team.
And I think if we do get through the Astros, we'll definitely win in the World Series. I guarantee you that.
Don't
You know what
sleep
I'm
on the
saying?
Phillies and the Padres. Don't sleep on them. They're
Don't
not
sleep on
bad.
the Phillies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Don't sleep on the Phillies.
that's just how I look at it, Jeff.
No, I understand,
You
but
know what I'm
just watch out
saying?
for
If,
that
I
Phillies
if
team. They're hitting on strides now.
I'm not sleeping on anybody, but if we get through this Astros team, we're winning the World Series.
No, I understand it.
You know what I'm saying? Because I just don't see, especially since you guys are out and the Dodgers are out and the Braves are out. I don't see. Is that Nimmer?
Kevin
Is he?
Rodriguez, what's up, bro? Hope you're doing
Um,
well.
but yeah,
Nimmer, can you
what's
pause your
good,
mic for a
man? What's
second if it's
good?
okay? Thank you.
What's good, Kev, man? How you
What's up?
doing, bro? Man, thank you for popping in, man. You know what I'm saying? We was just putting a bow on the basketball conversation, man. But feel free to rewind the show, man. We got into a lot of things, man. And also check out the show that me and Big Fan Breezy did, man. The NBA preview show. Sure you gonna love that, man. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And
If you're a football
yeah.
fan, check out the way beginning if
Knicks
you
ish,
want to hear
yeah.
about some football stuff.
Giants fan too, man. Definitely,
Mhm.
man. You know what I'm saying? And subscribe to all these guys, man. Let me throw the banners up there, man. Coach Ed's Amazing World of Sports, man. That's my co-host right here. You know what I'm saying?
So fine,
Right
girl.
beside me. You know what I'm saying? My other co-host Jeffy
You're
T,
crazy, coach.
85. You know what I'm saying? Go sub to him too, man. And Nimmer doesn't have a channel, man, but he's always a big contributor to the community, man. You know what I'm saying? So
Appreciate
go
it.
follow him on Twitter. Um, but yeah, man. So as we do, we're gonna finish the show, man, with Coach's Corner, man. Love the segment, man. Coach gonna school us to the college football landscape. It's all you, Coach.
Well, this past weekend of the local teams that played, Rutgers was off.
Appreciate you,
They had a
Kev.
bye. And you had Syracuse that took on NC State. They're two of the top ranked teams in the country. Syracuse actually came out on top. They defeated them. I just had to score. I just had to score. Duh. Hold on a second. Sorry. I
You
had the
good?
score. I had it up. And I don't know what happened with my phone. I mean, my computer. I'll get it off my phone. CBS Sports, college football, ACC. Here we go. They beat NC State 24-9. It
Mm,
was a for the most part, it was a dominant game. I mean, rushing Sean Tucker, he had 14 carries for 98 yards, one touchdown, an average of 7 yards. Garrett Schrader, 16 carries for 81 yards, no touchdowns, 5.1 average. So overall, they totaled out 30 carries, 179 yards, one touchdown, 6.6 yards a carry. So that right there shows that they truly controlled the clock. Garrett Schrader at quarterback was 16 to 25, two touchdowns, two interceptions, 8.4 yards at average. The main receiver, Aronde Gatson, eight receptions, 141 yards, two touchdowns on 10 targets, 17.6 yards per reception. So it was efficient, though, for the most part. I mean, because with the Russian attack, there was a lot of play action that they were using. Also, their up tempo. At times, they did kick in with that up tempo, so it did keep NC State off balance. Defensively, Marlo Wax led the team in with 10 total tackles, seven solo, three assists. Derek McDonald chipped in with nine total, five solo, four assists. Justin Barrett and Mikael Jones both had seven total tackles, three solo, four assists, while Jones also added a sack. I mean, defensively, they were pretty much all over the place. Um, there was a grading on fan siding. It said offensively, they gave them an A minus. You know, the Orange offense came out firing and didn't let up, which I just basically went over. It was on point throughout the game and was the main reason the Orange was picking up the victory over the Wolfpack. The defense, though, was actually at an A plus. They only allowed 255 yards on offense, where I just spoke about the leading tacklers in Wax and Jones. You know, overall, the defense stepped up for the Orange, holding their offense to field goals and not much offense on the field. Because NC State does have a decent offense. Now, one thing I will say, their starting quarterback was out, and I think he may be out for the season. So, you know, their second
was
string
NC State ranked, Coach?
Yes, NC State
So
was
that's a good win,
15. Yes,
Syracuse.
it was a very good win.
Okay.
Syracuse was 18 and NC State was 15. So it's a very good win. Overall, the grade was 18 because they were the better team. But it also sets them up because this weekend they go down to Clemson to face number three Clemson. So that's going to be a big, big task. But
Yeah.
that's what you want when it comes to college football. You want to play against the top teams in the country because you know you'll have the opportunity to prove yourself. Case in point, my next point was going to be the big upset in college football. I know it's not just local, but it was Tennessee. Tennessee upsetting Alabama 52-49
I
on the
like
last
it.
second field
I
I
goal.
loved it.
like it.
And it
Loved
was
it.
an
Yes.
exciting game. I think almost every college football fan in the country was tuned in if their team wasn't playing. But I
Hmm.
mean, it had me going throughout the whole course. Hendon Hooker, as I've said
Yeah,
from the
talk about
beginning,
him.
I mean,
Yep.
he played and he showed out, and even his Heisman percentage that he was on, I think he was 66-1 to win the Heisman, and I think he's now up to plus 300. And from my understanding, that's
Ooh, okay.
good. So, and I
And
think,
you said it. You said
yep,
it right here
You did.
on this
You did.
program, coach. Watch
Mm,
out for Hendon Hooker. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna
exactly.
clip that. I got the footage,
I
coach. I'm gonna
know,
clip it for you.
I
I
know, I
got you.
know. I understand.
you
I
think they're
don't
going to be a
deny it.
top three team now? Since they were what, six?
Tennessee in the
Yeah.
AP is top three.
Good for them.
In the rankings in the AP, they're number three. In the coaches poll, they're number four.
Okay.
They jumped in the coaches poll. They jumped 4 spots, and in the AP, they jumped 3 spots. So, oh, let
Mm.
me see. CBS. CBS has them at number three also. So, they're proving themselves. I mean, they're up there in mine, but I know I'm probably going to get killed. I think I have them at five. But that's because of the teams in front of them. I mean, Ohio State, even though they were on a bye, Georgia, Clemson, and Michigan, were the ones in front of them. So it was kind of hard for me to bump them up, even though that was a big win for them.
Yeah.
But I think I had them at nine previously, which is why I did bump them up to five. But
Okay.
again, that was a big win. Let me see, what was his stats?
That
Hooker.
USC Utah game was a lot of fun too. I caught
Yes,
the end of that.
yes,
That was a
yeah.
really fun game. Good
I saw
kudos
that.
to Utah too.
Yes, I mean, and exact. That's what I'm saying. Those were good games. Hooker was 21 of 30, 385 yards,
Oh my God.
5 touchdowns with 1 interception.
Jesus. Efficient.
And he
Wow.
he rushed for 14 carries for 56 yards. Now the reason why he had 5 touchdowns, Jalen Hyatt, wide receiver, 6 receptions, 207 yards, 5 touchdowns. That's a 34.5
Say
yard
that
average.
again.
He's on that
Jalen
ranking you put
Hyatt,
up too, coach.
six receptions, 207 yards, a 34.5 average per reception, and
That's
five
crazy.
touchdowns. The kid was
Five
killing them.
touchdowns.
He was
That's
killing
crazy.
them. Yes, he was. I mean, it
Yo, what
was.
we got to do to get him?
Yeah.
Who we got to trade?
Wait a minute. I gotta see if he's coming out. I don't know if he's coming out. Is
I
he?
think he is. I think he might be coming out.
Let me see.
Give homie the bag, yo. We need
He's
it
on
right
that list
Oh,
that
now.
he's
you
a
said in the
junior.
private
He's a
chat. Yeah.
junior. He's a junior.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing, though. For the season, 33 receptions, 595 yards, 10 touchdowns. So he got half his touchdowns in one
Hmm.
game.
That's okay.
So, but
Sometimes it's like
again, I
that. Yeah.
mean, is he going to be a top receiver? I mean, because you talked about the receivers, and I know I sent you
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm reading that
Mhm.
right now, coach.
so, and let me see if he's in there.
A couple
Where
of
is he?
Maryland's dudes on this list
Yep.
too, which is surprising.
Hyatt is in there. He's the number seventh ranked receiver. So,
Yeah.
and I mean, they got Quentin Johnson at six. I mean, I saw some publications that he was number one. So,
I'm surprised
but
Marvin Mims is number one.
yeah,
That one
Marvin
surprised me a
Mims
little
is number
bit.
one.
Hmm.
I mean, Mims is good. Don't get me wrong. I've watched him in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
The summary is right there. He does have excellent hands, good speed, and lead at making yards after the catch.
Mm.
I just want to double check his measurables because I don't think I think he's more of a slot.
Is Jordan
Uh,
Addison a bigger receiver too?
Addison, I think so. Let me see.
Because they
Mims
got
is.
Mario Williams as well on the other side.
They don't have his height. They only have his weight at
Yeah. They don't have the
184
height.
pounds.
It, it
I'll
might
double check.
it might say it in the little description they give it on the side because they say it about Quentin Johnston where they talk about his height. I don't know if it like says it on the little description talking about the player.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't say it. Again, according to this, and Mims, Boucher, Addison. Addison, I think, is like 5'11", 6 feet.
Okay.
In Jigba is Jackson and Smith and Jigba. Josh Downs, I know is like 5'10", and Jermaine Burton. Um, he doesn't impress me. For me, I mean that's me. It might be I just it's hard for me to really because Alabama is Alabama. That's why and then there's Jalen Hyatt, Quentin Johnson.
Mm.
So and like you said, the kids from Maryland,
Raheem Jarrett and Dante Demas
yeah,
Jr.
they're good. But the thing is, they're not. I don't think they're overly tall. And then of course Zay
Let's
Flowers.
just
Zay
say
Flowers.
Dante Demas is a prototypical. They think he's a prototypical pro style X receiver.
Okay, yeah, but see, the thing is, he's big. Okay, yeah, they don't. He's a sophomore, junior. Started heading into the senior year. Scouting X receiver, 6'4", 215. So yeah, he is big. He is tall. So let me go back to Hyatt. Hyatt, scroll all the way down. No, they don't have his measurables in there.
I'll look it up for you, Coach.
Yeah,
Jalen Hyatt.
I think he's like
6 foot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's 6 foot.
So, I mean, I will say he was killing Alabama. And Alabama, their defensive back, they're known for that because Nick Saban works with them. So, and he
Mm.
killed them. I mean, they had a hard time stopping. Like I said, six receptions,
That's
5 touchdowns.
crazy.
That's
Incredible.
great, and against Alabama.
Yeah,
So that says it all right there. So
And
he's
how tall you
definitely
think he was?
6 foot.
6 foot.
6 foot.
So
That's
you
good.
know,
That's good
yeah,
height.
that's good.
Mhm.
So he's going to be a first. He's going to be a late first rounder. I
Okay.
mean, again, it's going to depend on the combine, but and as you see, there's a load of receivers here. There is a
Yeah.
load of receivers, so you
That's a
know
ton.
we
Yeah.
might be able to get something in the second round too. So depending,
Exactly.
Mhm.
so because in the second after that you have Cedric Tillman, Parker Washington, Jonathan Mingo, from Mississippi, from Ole Miss. He's a pretty decent receiver. I just wonder with him, is it more the system as opposed to his skill set? So, again,
Hmm.
you can find receivers for us next year. Coming out, A.T. Perry. You know, I think he's better than most people are giving him credit for. It's just I've watched him. I watched him last year, of course, against Rutgers, but there was just something about him, the way he played. His scouting report, he's very good in contesting catch situation, using his frame effectively. Um, to make plays for your quarterback. He has strong hands, has the strong hands any NFL receiver, coach, and quarterback coach would covet. Tracks the deep ball over either shoulder and brings in the passes. He's a natural playmaker. He accelerates
Hmm.
quickly and possesses good straight line speed. His weakness is he lacks suddenness as a route runner, and that is a potential issue at the next level. He has constantly ran a limited route tree, and he'll be coming to the NFL from a wide open offense, a spread offense. So, which is why I understand, the suddenness. I don't know if it's because of the system, but I
Hmm.
mean, I see something there with him. So it's just, and he has decent measurable. I mean, he runs a 4.48. So my point being, there's always something a receiver you can get at the next level. I mean,
What about
in
the
the
other Alabama kid, Tyler Harrell? He's
Uh,
quick. He's got 4.2 speed, so he is a quick
yeah.
receiver, sort of
But
like
you
out of what
see, wait a minute. I think he's
he's
more of a
just
slot receiver. It says
like
for
a like a
two.
like a Ruggs or a Waddle.
He's a fluid athlete with excellent short area quickness, slot receiver. Howell should
Okay.
be able to create separation, and he has the straight line speed to threaten down the seam. That tells you right there, slot receiver.
Okay.
He's at his best working in space, showing the quickness and vision of a return specialist, has the stop start ability, allows him to create initial separation, keeps his feet active and eyes up to the up to dodge traffic quickly and easily. It's good straight line, shows quickness off the step, does a nice job locating the ball. Harold isn't going to overwhelm opposing defensive backs with speed and athleticism. Doesn't have the ability as a run blocker or a violent run after the catch ability. He's not physically imposing, small in frame, and won't be able to catch much more weight. That's what I thought. I thought he was more of the small guys, and he has the
How
ability
about
to track the
this guy
ball.
Quentin Johnson?
Oh, it's the
Yeah,
TCU kid.
that's the
That's what I'm
TCU.
Yeah,
just
He's
talking
like
about.
6'4". He's fast. Yes,
fast as hell.
yeah.
4-4.
No, I said it before. Yes, and he's dropped. I said there were some that's had him number one. I had said he's mid to late first rounder, depending on what happens with the other guys, and
And
what
see,
happens
that's
at
why I
the
think we're gonna
combine.
be picking later in the first round.
Yes,
T.
exactly.
Higgins
That's
vibes. He gives me T. Higgins vibes with the downfield ability, has the height,
hmm
he can
Hmm.
stretch the field. So that's what I think about is that T. Higgins type of wide receiver. That's why I
Exactly.
made the point earlier
yeah.
about saying that I would like a receiver with a little bit of size that can also be a deep threat, not like a
Yes.
Kenny Galladay who can't run.
Because if they're gonna let Slayton go, we don't know if they're gonna keep Slayton or not. That's why
Yeah.
the kind of receiver I'm looking for. Not necessarily a bigger body guy, but a speed guy. That's why I was telling you earlier,
Hmm.
Coach, what
Hmm.
about speed? Not necessarily um
Well, you'd like a
some
true X receiver on the outside.
That's it.
right,
That's
an
yeah.
outside receiver with some speed that can stretch
Yeah,
the
Yes.
field. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
No,
That's what we
I got
need.
what you meant. I got what you meant.
Yeah,
It was just more of that's why I say if you want just a speed receiver on the outside, you got one in Slayton. But if
Mm.
you
that's what I'm
want a
saying. If
true
they're
number
gonna let
one,
Slayton go,
if
right?
yeah, if you want a true number one, then yeah, you want decent size. The size range could be like 5'11", 6 feet ish,
Because I
a little
think
bit
that's what
taller.
OBJ was. Wasn't he?
Yes,
Ain't
This
OB
OBJ
guy's
was
like
five
5'11"?
11,
5'11".
yeah,
Yeah.
5'11", 6 foot,
He
Yeah,
yeah.
ain't got to
so
be no six
no,
foot six.
No, they don't
Nah.
need all to be tall at all.
no, and
Jamar
that
Chase is like 6 foot, and
But
he's
this
yeah.
guy
dominant.
right here, he has a bigger frame. Pause. He's 215 from what I'm looking at
Hmm.
right here.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So, he can be a better version of Seals and Galladay. You know what I'm saying?
Now they grade
With
yeah,
his
speed.
hands. They say his hands are at a 59. So that's why I say the film study and the combine are going to be the big thing.
Right.
He
yeah,
is a
Right.
precise
Right.
route runner. He does create separation
Mm,
with using quick outs and stops, which is good. That's good. That's exactly what you want.
what you looking
He's
for? Yep.
excellent downfield, accelerating to the top speed. He's super athletic. Um, he could well have the best combination of speed, acceleration, and size of any wideout in the class. That's what concerns me right there. Because if he combines all three, does he jump to the top of the receiver class? Because
Mm, good.
other teams are going to say the same thing. Well, if he has that, maybe I can take him earlier. If I can't trade back.
yeah.
Um, he can also be a force in the catch and run situations. Um, it says very good hands. Good hands is okay, but it's not the top hands that you want, that you would want in a number one sometimes. He's not a dominating blocker, but he needs to develop. But you can develop that. Um,
Yeah.
and he only has run a limited route tree at TCU. Those are
Mm,
some of the things that you have to take into consideration because the NFL route tree is totally expansive as opposed to a lot of the spread offenses in college. So which I will give Alabama credit. Their
mhm.
offensive passing tree is more expansive, which is
Yeah.
why it benefits them. Um, kind of uh, Ohio State, kind of. I mean, they do well with receivers, but I think it's more they get coached up when they get to the NFL as opposed to the system that they're in because a lot of times they're playing lesser talented receiver. I mean,
Opposition.
opposition. So next year there's going to be a good listing of wide receivers coming out. And I sent you this site because if you scroll up, it has everything there. You can check
Mm.
everything: quarterback, offensive line,
Okay.
defensive
Okay.
backs.
I'm gonna
So
definitely dive into that.
exactly. So
I'm
and
gonna have some unpopular
Me too.
opinions on that.
Exactly. But this also helps because this is what I use as a guide. I've gotten away from what's his name, Mel Kiper. You
I
know,
never
He's
because
listened to him.
terrible,
no,
He's
man.
it's
not.
just that
Yeah,
in the past
Or Tommy Shay.
I
him
used
and
his stuff
Tommy
as a
Trey.
guide that I would go and I would evaluate. But there's too many times that I'm just like, nah, they just
They don't know
don't
what they're
have it.
talking about.
No,
Yeah.
they're just farting out of their mouth when they say this stuff.
So
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
so it's like that. So, but um, I will say one thing about the offensive line. Pete Skoronsky can actually play guard. He can play tackle or guard. He reminds me of what you call it with the Jets. So
Elijah Vera Tucker.
yes.
Jared Tucker. Okay.
So, but he can play, move, bump in to play guard. So, if there was a need to draft a lineman and he's there, I don't foresee have a problem seeing them draft him. But again, that he's the ones I know. Him, of course, Paris Johnson, huge guy
Mm,
from Ohio State, and Broderick Jones. I know him. I want to study Ricky Stromberg, because he's a center, but I want to get the film and really see him because Arkansas is a good run physical team, so that's why I want to look at them. Um,
okay.
and because their coach down there loves to run. They do have a decent quarterback. Kid is like 6'4". I think he's 6'4". Let me go back and see. Quarterback from Arkansas. Arkansas, what's his name? He's not coming out.
Is he too young?
No, no, he's on the second page. KJ Jefferson. He's like 242. I think he's like 6'3", 6'4".
Let me see.
So,
Oh, I
uh,
see him. Yeah, he's 13th.
yeah. So, he's in terms of his scouting, he has a quick release, shows good accuracy on the shorter throws, and he shows very nice touch on the deep balls. The reason why I say this, we might be able to pick him up later in the draft, and that could be somebody you develop once what's his name goes as the backup. So
Yeah,
and,
Tyrod
and
Taylor.
yeah, and
Mm,
he has
yeah.
good size, and they already love that. And if they don't fall in love with Daniel Jones, if they don't resign him, then that could be your because I know everyone else wants to go after the top quarterbacks. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it. Why is Phil Jerkovic's rated so high?
Jerk. I can't remember. I
Phil,
remember that stream Pat, that show
Yes.
Pat did on Phil
I
Phil
Jerkovic.
mean,
Jerkovich.
The
yeah,
first
state.
time I ever heard this dude's name, man, you got to go
I've
watch
known
that.
about him. He transferred from Notre Dame. I know who he is. I just never thought he
Yo,
was that
he
good.
had me in tears. He said, of
Where
all the
is he?
quarterbacks you want
He's
to
number
pick, you
12.
pick Phil Djokovic.
Yes.
Oh, there he is from
Stetson
BC.
Bennett. Stetson Bennett.
Tested
He's
Bennett, yeah,
he's 5'11"
come
though.
on,
That's the thing. That's the thing about him. But he's smart.
man.
Don't get me wrong. But his size
They have
and
Tanner
I
DJ.
was
McKee,
I was with
third
the
from
Hendon Hooker,
Stanford.
man, but damn,
Yes.
he
He's
might
going to he's
he
going to
might
keep
go up
going up.
now.
The
Yeah.
Stanford kid
Exactly.
is number 3 right now. It's Tanner McKee.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
Stafford's not doing anything, and well, they just beat Notre Dame, but they didn't impress in beating Notre Dame. That's why it's like I don't know. That's me. I mean, I've watched him. I watched the late night games, so I see him, and
Mm.
it just doesn't impress me. DJ from Clemson. You know,
Right over there, Nimma.
oh
I'm
damn,
Gucci.
Like you was in like a little funky days there. Your eyes
No,
was
I'm
Are you
looking
sorry.
falling
I'm
like
watching
asleep?
TV. I'm watching TV also. I'm watching
oh,
the
all
Lakers
right, all
versus.
right. Making sure you
I'm sorry.
good, man. You know what I'm
I'm
Yeah.
saying?
sorry. All right,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
gonna wrap it up right here. I'm gonna wrap. I can sit here and talk this
Nah, you
stuff all
good.
night long.
I was checking on Nimmer over there.
All
Gucci.
right,
Okay,
so
I'm Gucci.
all right.
so that's pretty much it. That's what I have in terms of. Oh, and Princeton won. They beat Brown, so they're still tops in
That's what's
the
up.
the
Rutgers was
whatchamacallit.
off this week, right?
Yeah, they were off.
Yeah.
They play
Okay.
Indiana for homecoming. Um, they're going to, Indiana just lost. They're 3-4. Rutgers is 3-3. So this
Come
technically
on,
will be
Rutgers,
for.
man. That's a
I'm
chance.
sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
I said, come on, Rutgers. It's a chance
thank
to
you.
get. right.
They need to.
That's
That
the one
loss
thing.
last week was bad. That
Yeah,
loss to
Yeah,
Nebraska was a bad loss.
Rutgers actually fired their OC. So
Yes.
yeah.
they
Hmm.
Nunzio is
Yep.
taking over. So it and everything that I'm hearing is the players are very receptive. They have all three of their quarterbacks going to be available this weekend. So um, this is the time for Rutgers because right now to make a bowl, they definitely need to. They have to beat Indiana. They have
Hmm.
to beat Michigan State, and they have to beat Maryland because the other three games they have is and they
Michigan, Penn
might
State, and
Michigan, Penn State, Minnesota.
yeah,
Now they're playing Minnesota and Minnesota, but Minnesota is but Minnesota plays into Rutgers' strength because Rutgers has the number 12, one of the top defense. I think they're number 12 in the country, or it's either that or number 12 rush defense. And the one
The
thing
rush
Minnesota
defense, I
does,
think, yeah, was they were
yeah,
saying.
and the one thing Minnesota does well is they run the football. So, and that's
mm,
to Rutgers.
Josh Trench, yeah.
So, but again, Indiana, the thing with Indiana, they play a lot of quick tempo offense. Their head coach is very energetic. And Rutgers and Indiana always seem to battle it out. They have some good games and then some blowout games, but they're
Lakers
on
getting
par with each
smacked
other.
now.
they suck. They suck.
Yeah,
It's great to see the Lakers suck. I'm sorry. I
yeah,
love it.
god
I
awful.
love
Yeah,
Yep.
watching the
I'm
Lakers
watching it
suck.
right now. The Lakers are 64 and Golden State 89.
I love
yeah,
it. I love watching the Lakers
they're
Wow.
suck.
getting dominated out there.
They're not gonna win. They're gonna get like
Let's
really
just be
badly.
real. LeBron James destroyed that team when he
Yeah, he did.
decided to like
He
tear that
did.
team
Yes,
apart.
He
He
did.
killed
I
the
exactly.
didn't want to. I
camaraderie of
didn't even
that
want to
team.
get into it. You know what I'm saying? But
Exactly.
Let's
let
get
coach,
into it. Why
let's
not?
let coach, man, finish what you got
Mhm.
to say, man, before
No,
I
that's pretty much it. I'm done. So,
goddamn
I
smash
appreciate it.
LeBron
So,
James,
and
man.
no, no, I'm sorry about Princeton. Princeton plays Penn this weekend, and both teams are undefeated. So it's going to be for first place in the Big Ten, in the Ivy League. So,
Okay.
where they're
Oh
playing at?
wow.
Interesting.
Is it? Oh no, they play Harvard. I'm sorry, they're playing Harvard this weekend. My bad. I do apologize. They're playing Friday. And I believe it's at Harvard. Harvard is 4-1. Princeton is 5-0. So it's going to be a good game. But Princeton has seemed to have them the past few years. So, um, but that's pretty much it. In Big Ten, I mean Ivies, yeah. Princeton is 5-0. Penn is 5-0. Harvard and Yale are 4-1. So that's pretty much it. The rest of them are 3-2 and under. So that's pretty much it. I'm done.
Real quick before we get off to college, how do you feel about this upcoming Rutgers game since they didn't play this week? Just want to get your take on how you feel about the upcoming game.
It's a great opportunity for Rutgers. Number one, it's homecoming, so it's going to be a lot of energy in the stadium. For those that come, I am not expecting to sell out. I'll be honest with you, I'm not, especially since Rutgers, just lost to Nebraska. But those that are there, they're going to give it the energy. I think they'll probably have anywhere from 20, roughly 26,000 fans, probably half capacity in the stadium. Being that they have a new offense coordinator and all three of their quarterbacks are coming back, they have an advantage over Indiana because now Indiana doesn't know who to prepare for per se. So they got to kind of prepare for all of them.
All
And like I
three,
said, Rutgers has the opportunity, and Rutgers has a good defense for the most part. They really do. So that's where I think it's going to lie within the defense and the special teams, and give the offense a short field. Now, if
you think they
Nunzio
got
is
any NFL players on that defense, Rutgers?
Yes, yes, Christian Izzian, number 0 safety. Now Christian is smaller. He's like 5'9", but when I say he kind of reminds what's the guy what you call Bob what you call he used to play for the Colts,
Bob
Bob
Sanders.
Sanders. He
Mhm.
Sanders.
reminds me of him in terms of
Sanders.
he's short, he's stout, but he can hit. But yeah, they
Mm,
have NFL guys that he's coming out. The year after that is Bo Melton's brother, Max Melton. I don't want to say lockdown, but he has the tools and the capability of being that type of a cornerback. He
Okay.
plays with a lot of confidence. He does need a little bit more coaching up, NFL coaching, but he does have decent size, about 5'11", 6 feet ish. He probably runs about a 4.45 to a 4.39, somewhere in that range in the 40. So he
Mm,
has good speed. He's a track guy. Keeson, no. Um, who's the other safety? No. Desmond Igbinosa. If he develops, he's going to be Longer Beam. That's who it is. He's the other, but Longer Beam is a sophomore. But Longer Beam from, I believe he's from Virginia. He was tops in the state in Virginia and chose Rutgers. Um,
what
long
part of
kid.
Virginia, you know?
No, I have to look it up.
Okay.
I'll look it up. But he's long. He's like 6'2", long arms, but he's fast. Robert
Okay.
Longerbeam. Robert Longerbeam. Okay, Robert Longerbeam is from T.C. Williams in Virginia, Alexandria, Virginia. If you don't
Okay.
know T.C. Williams, that's the one that was in Remember the Titans, the high school.
I know.
Oh, okay, okay. So yeah, Christian is in, and Robert is. Oh, he's 5'11". My fault. I thought he was 6'2". But yeah, he's 5'11", but he's fast. When I say
Okay.
fast, he's fast. Yes. So,
Okay.
but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Yeah, man. Good stuff, coach, man.
Thank you, Coach.
Definitely gonna be looking forward to a lot of the players, man. Especially from Rutgers, man. And I'm interested to see this game coming up, man.
Hmm.
But
And wait a minute, does the game? Hold on a minute. Let me see. When is the game?
let's talk about this. This is not really related to Heart of the City. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this, but this LeBron James and these LA Lakers, man. I'm telling you, you know, it,
Hmm.
it, LeBron has got to go.
But most
I'm
fans,
sorry.
the NBA wants him because of the one thing: he brings the fans in. If you're a true fan,
What fan?
believe you
I
me,
ain't a fan of him.
there are a lot of fans that want to continue to see LeBron James. Number one, number two, don't
I
forget
know a
what's
lot
the
of the
no the
new
what you
age fans grew up on LeBron. I get it, man.
but
That's
what's the
Charles
one
Michael
thing that
Jordan.
they want? They all want to see him play one season with Bronny. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, they
I
do.
understand. I'm not with that, but that's what it is. A lot of them want to see him. I hear it. I even hear Knicks
And
fans
who's
talk
to
about
say
it.
Bronny's
I don't
is
think
he
Bronny is that good.
guaranteed to make the NBA?
No, no.
Ain't no
Probably
But they
not. Who
think
guarantees in
that.
this
knows?
league.
But think
They think
about
he
it though.
is.
Think about the marketing associated with that and the money that it draws. You take LeBron off of that team,
I
they're
tell you
not going to
what,
sell.
LeBron and Bronny can go play for the uh the
They'll
G
play
League.
this. Yeah, play with the
Yeah,
Spurs.
It's not going to
go
sell in
play
the
in the G
NBA.
League, bro.
The NBA wants it. I get what you're saying. I agree with you. I want LeBron. I love LeBron. I followed him since his high school days. I can't lie. Him and Melo, I saw them when they came to Jersey and
I
as 18
respect
year olds.
But
But it
Dwayne
LeBron,
Wade was
unwritten.
my guy. Dwayne Wade was the one I loved out of all those guys. I love Dwayne Wade. I hated when he
But
played against us, but I love Dwayne Wade's grit and
thought
old
Melo
school
got a raw
attitude.
deal, man, in a lot of situations,
of course,
especially with the Knicks.
No, he did.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't his fault, man. You know what I'm saying?
the
I
Knicks
love
But
screwed him.
Carmelo.
Dolan screwed
LeBron has been
Melo
the
because
epitome of why the NBA is full of crybaby. You know what? It's because of
I beg
LeBron.
to differ. I beg to differ. I said I go back further than that because the one guy I hated the most was Reggie Miller. He was the biggest crybaby that you would
He
ever know,
was.
and he
He
That's
was
a
in
was.
his
You're
big
right.
prime.
thing, though.
He
Yeah,
was.
So I mean, I'll go back. I go back further than that. So, but
that's a big
LeBron,
thing.
yes. I mean, but I will say this though. Okay, he was raised that way. The kid had a Hummer at 17 years old.
That's
He
what I'm
did.
saying, yo.
So
They
when
don't know
you're
how to earn nothing.
no, it's not that. When you're put on that pedestal, you gravitate to it. Kobe had the same mentality, whether you realize it or not. Kobe was the same exact way. And he worked his ass off. He did.
Yep.
I'm gonna give you a real spill, coach.
Yeah. What's up?
You know what I'm saying? I be out in Akron, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot stand this dude. When
Oh,
you don't have
okay.
the respect to go back home, it's not even about LeBron's basketball ability. Guy can play basketball. Can't take that away from him. You'd be a fool to say he's garbage.
Mm-hmm.
It's his personality. You don't get respect at home. I was out there. I was like, "Where's the LeBron stuff at?" We burnt that shit down. Don't ever speak that name around here.
Oh, okay.
That's he did
This
win
is
a
from
championship there
the
too.
streets. This
Mm,
ain't no, Stephen A. Smith reporting, bruh. This NYG 22 telling you they don't like LeBron in his own hometown.
Mm.
that's funny you say that because he won a championship there too for the Cavs.
Doesn't matter. He has no respect there.
Mhm.
None.
To be honest,
Championship.
I honestly think
Be
that no,
damned.
no, I find it hard for any true athletes that are that level at that level that really don't because they're not attached to it per se. They just do things for publicity, and I don't
Yeah,
care if it's Michael Jordan. I don't care if it's LT. Well, LT different time, different era, but Michael Jordan.
LT get much love, and
No, he does, he does, he does. But what I'm saying, like
Jordan get
Michael
much
Jordan,
love down there in
really?
Charlotte, in North Carolina.
Because the
Yeah,
kid, like my brother, when he was down there, he was like, "Yo, people down here hate him. They wish he
they
they."
probably don't like him now. Yeah, but I'm talking about like UNC. You know what I'm saying? Because I've
Oh
been on
yeah,
the
no, yeah,
UNC
yeah.
campus.
UNC,
Yeah,
yes. No, that's a different story. I was just
he's
saying,
beloved there.
yeah.
Hmm.
So, but my point being is, a lot of them are like that. Those elite talent, because if you come from the streets, what do most of them say? Are you really? First of all, were you really from the streets? And two, do you really give back, or do you do things just for publicity? How many of them build up community centers, but really, do you maintain it? Do you really make sure that it's not
Right.
like the Rashid Wallaces who were always there, no matter what, but then
Mm.
Rashid wasn't that elite type of, Michael Jordan type of guys
he
that
was a good. He's a very good player, but he was never elite.
I don't,
Mhm.
most cats that I know that are like that, I've heard the same thing that people don't like them in the hometowns,
Mm.
so well,
Yeah.
no, Kobe, I take that back. Philly did love Kobe.
Kobe, that's what
Do
I'm
you
Yeah,
think
saying.
Dwayne Wade was
Kobe.
very loved in Miami? Because Miami loved Dwayne Wade for years.
Yeah.
I don't know if
yeah,
it's a
I've been in
difference.
Miami. Yeah, he was
is
definitely respected in Miami.
Dwayne Wade was
He's
from
not from there though.
Chicago.
That's
He's from
true.
Oh, that's
Chicago.
right. You're
Chicago.
right. He's from Chicago.
Hmm.
My
Is he
fault.
loved and is he beloved? Because when he went up there, it didn't seem like they loved him. They wanted him going.
Mm.
But
Hmm.
I don't know if it's because of the talent or because of him. Again, I'm
He
not
was
from
he was an older
Chicago.
player at that time when he was
It's just
in
that whole
Chicago.
LeBron thing, man. And LeBron goes and just like shout
Oh,
out to the
oh,
Cavs and the Miami Heat. They were over
yeah.
the got through all that LeBron mess. You know what I'm saying?
LeBron
Who?
destroyed that Lakers team.
He's
He
dragging the Lakers in
he
the
destroyed
mud
that
right
team.
now. He is destroying
But
uh, a top notch franchise in the NBA.
okay, when you say
Knicks fans,
destroy,
be glad you never had to go
oh, I
through that
was glad
LeBron
that he didn't come here.
shit,
I
man.
didn't want him in the first place when they were going after him,
And
and
people
I
talk
love
shit about Kevin
LeBron.
Durant.
I
Nah,
love LeBron, but I didn't want him
take
here.
Durant 10 times out of 10
No,
before I take
no,
LeBron
no. I
James.
didn't want LeBron as much. I'd want first of all the competitor. It's like I don't want you on here. I want to beat you. That's the
Facts.
competitor. But the other side is, I knew it was all about the publicity. It wasn't really
Right.
initially about chasing championships. And I know those other cats wasn't going to come here. And I knew he was using the Knicks as leverage for the other places. So I
And
get
the
that.
Nets too, both of us.
Yes,
Yeah.
he wasn't coming here. So that's
He
why to
wanted to go
me
play
it's
with
like
his boys down there in Miami with him, Bosh, and Wade. That was
And
go
all.
that's
play
I
in
don't
why
know. Everybody
why
Miami.
knew that.
you gotta recruit people to come play with you.
But
Hmm.
that's this level of basketball, bro. They if you
And
look at it, they're
he started
on No, like I'm saying, remember I just said about Braun and Melo when they came up here to Jersey? The AAU circuit is what has hurt basketball because with AAU you get guys coming from all over and then they become buddy buddy and they lose the killer instinct. They don't have
Yep.
that instinct to where you hate the
You
opposition.
didn't see that
I
in the '90s and the '80s. They were
I
hating
grew
each
up
Yeah.
other.
hating the Boston Celtics.
Hmm.
Anybody that goes to the Boston Celtics, I'm like, nah, stay over there, stay over there.
Yeah,
Don't come
people
to.
love Jordan. I hated Jordan.
Mhm.
I never
I
loved
hated
Jordan.
Jordan as a player.
And I'm
No,
sure
never.
Coach couldn't stand
Couldn't
those Pacer teams
stand.
too.
Couldn't
Nope,
Those Pacer
couldn't
stand
teams
Reggie
stand
probably
it.
annoyed
Miller.
the
I
hell
couldn't
out of
Reggie
you.
stand him
Miller,
either.
Reggie
Mark
Miller.
Jackson.
Right.
It
None
hurt
of
me
them
that Mark
cats.
Jackson went there and the way he turned on to the Knicks, but I get it.
Yeah.
And he was drafted by the Knicks. He wanted to be here, but he was hurt because he got traded away, and I get it. So,
Hmm.
you just get mad. But again, I hated those Pacers teams. So it was, even what's his name, Rick Smits. Technically, he played at Fordham. He was in New York. Is it Fordham?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was Fordham. But he was, I
Detlef
think,
Shrimp. Don't forget about him too. Another player on that Pacers team for a little bit. Detlef
I
Shrimp
can't
before he went
argue.
to the
I can't
Rangers.
argue with that. But my all time greatest Nick, he was here a short time, is Bernard King. I I love me some Bernard King. I
Mm.
just he's one of the reasons why I fell in love. I mean, I started following a little bit earlier, but I fell in love with the Knicks because of him. I still remember the double 50 that he put up against in it was Detroit and I forgot the other team, but it was back to back San
Mm.
Antonio. So
Now I'm
but
gonna tell you a player that
LeBron, I
I
get it.
always liked from the Knicks. It's one of my favorite players, and this is gonna be a very unpopular opinion because a lot of people throw shade on this guy because of what happened in the game in the finals. John
I knew.
Starks
Yep, I knew
is
you were
one of
going
my
there.
No,
favorite Knicks of all time.
we
I
all
don't
true Knicks fans love him. We
John
love him.
Starks was that dude. John Starks went toe to toe with my. He's the only guard that I sit there and watch like go toe to toe with like. And John
Mhm.
Starks was an undersized guard. I think he was
Yes,
only
he
like
was.
Yeah.
5'3" or
No, he
something
was
like. I
six
mean,
two.
not six
He's
foot
six
three,
two.
6'3".
Yeah.
Yeah. So he went toe to toe with Joe. I was like, yo, dude, got some. You
But do
know
you
what?
know why he was like that? Most people forget why.
He's from
Because of
Tulsa,
how
wasn't it? Oklahoma, right?
he played at Oklahoma, but his journey, and he had to scrap for everything. He'll tell you,
Right.
talent wise, he
Respect
had
that. I
to
respect the
work.
fuck out of
He had
that.
to
Yeah.
work to
Yeah.
get what he had to get there. But
Mm.
hey, he got there. We rolled with him.
I was a shooting guard, you know what I'm saying, and you know
Exactly.
what I'm saying. I always watch John Starks when I was a kid, you know what I'm saying. So shout out to Starks, man.
That's why I liked a guy
Exactly.
like Kenyon Martin on the Nets. Kenyon Martin was that same type of player. He'd get in your
Yeah,
face. Kenyon
Kenyon
Martin,
Martin.
he would get in your face all the time if you
yeah.
try to
I tell you,
get
a
his
player
off
I love
guard.
for the Nets was Kenny Anderson.
I love
Kenny
him
Ken,
too.
Anderson,
I love Kenny
Kenny
Anderson.
Anderson was that dude, yo.
I chat with him
Like
from time to
One
time. Yeah,
one
so
of my
he's
favorite Nets,
cool.
first guys I watched
that's
when I was
one
a
of my
kid.
favorite Nets of all time.
I
Him and
like,
DC, Derrick
yeah, I
Talk
love
Rose.
Kenyon
DC
Martin.
too.
I'm gonna say
Mm,
this: you talk Kenyon Martin, Anthony Mason.
That's a good
Anthony
comparison.
Mason.
Yep, Mason
K
too.
Hmm.
Martin Mason are the same to me. It's just that
Mason and Oakley.
Mhm.
Mason. I mean, K Mart was a little bit more athletic than Mason. Mason just
But
had the
Mason could
ball
get
in
He had
to
his.
the
the ball
oddest
though.
shooting motion too.
Yes,
Kenyon
Mason
Martin
had
had the
that.
oddest
Mason
shooting
was one
motion.
of the first point forwards I seen
Yeah,
besides Scottie
exactly.
Pippen.
But
Him
I
and
mean, Mason also was New York. That was that
he
New York
was.
in him.
He was.
So
yeah.
it.
R.I.P. to Anthony Mason, man.
Yes,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you this too, NYG and Coach and Nimmer. The Nets' downfall from that team is when when they decided to sign and trade Kenyon Martin. That's like when that team just died. Like they didn't keep Kenyon Martin. They got cheap and they let him go. And that Nets team was never the same when they let Kenyon Martin off that team because it was the heart and soul of that franchise. Kid was the engine. Kid was
Mm-hmm.
amazing. But
Mm,
Kenyon
Kittles.
Martin was the heart and
Kittles.
soul of that match.
Yeah.
Kittles, Lucius Harris. I loved Lucius
Mm-hmm.
Harris. He was another
Yeah.
favorite of mine. I mean,
I
Richard
just don't.
Jefferson. Jefferson, I loved Richard
Jefferson was a nice
Jefferson. He
player.
was
He
my
was good.
guy. on that
How'd you
team.
feel about Van Horn?
I liked Van Horn. I think the expectations on Van Horn when he came out of college were a little bit too high. He was a good
Mhm.
player for the Nets. He was never going to be that top level player
He
that people
never
were hoping
lived
he was
up
going
to,
to be.
yeah,
No,
expectations were too high, I believe.
But
Jefferson
that was
fit the team a lot better.
but Van Horn. That was because of Philly, because Philly drafted him. Was it Philly? Yeah, Philly drafted him number 2. So but I agree with you. He was drafted way too high. And
Yeah.
coming out of Utah, it was just
I liked
yeah.
Van Horn, but I didn't think he fit the team sort of like what
Mm-mm.
Richard Jefferson had. Richard Jefferson had that athleticism and that's what people forget. Everybody talks about that trade between Marbury and Kidd as a big game changer. What about the other trade that the Nets made on draft night that year when they picked up Richard Jefferson, Jason Collins, who
Mhm.
I like Jason
Right,
Collins, and they
Levine.
picked up, I think,
Mhm.
Armstrong as well, another
Got
gritty
hot
player.
like
He didn't
John
play a
Starks.
lot, but I mean that trade right there. Besides the Jason Kidd one, when they got Richard Jefferson, that team just clicked. They
Mhm.
clicked on that court, and then they had guys like Todd McCullough. They had Aaron Williams at
Big
center.
old
I
Todd
loved Aaron
McCullough,
Williams.
yeah.
Aaron
Aaron Williams
Williams
was a
was
gritty mother effort on that team.
Aaron
I loved him.
Williams.
I loved Aaron Williams and Lucius
exactly.
Harris. Lucius
Aaron
Harris
Williams
was
was
awesome
just
too.
quiet. He was a quiet assassin for
He
Williams.
was. He was.
Facts.
So you just knew not to mess with him because he just one of them dudes. So, but yeah.
That team gave
So
me so
Solid,
much
yeah.
joy back in the day. I love that Brooklyn Nets team. I liked them even more. I like that team actually more than I like this team because
but
that
it's
team
also
was
a
so
different
strong.
time, different era. We can all go back to different teams during that time frame. It's a different era because you don't play that way anymore. Spacing, having the court open.
And
I
hand
mean,
check. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Well,
I
they were a
mean,
running gun team a lot too. A lot of their play on
Mhm.
offense was running up and down that court with those dunks, alley oops, all those crazy plays that Jason Kidd used to give to Kittles, Martin, Jefferson, whoever it was. The Nets were pretty much an up tempo team, and that's really what made them such a surprise in that first year that where they traded for Kidd and then a couple of those other pieces. Is they were pretty much a run and gun offensive team with some defense as well to
The
set
Nets
up
have
them.
had
They
so
all
many
just
good
ran down the
teams.
court. They all just ran down the court. Every time Kid touched
mhm.
that ball, the rest of
Yeah,
them were like, all right, I got to get the hell down the court because I'm getting that ball near the rim. Every
right.
single time, the Kid would just throw those absolutely insane passes. Guess I'm getting the ball to these guys, like the ones off the backboard. He's bowling the ball to these guys. I mean, it was just a thing of beauty back in the day. It
Yo,
was just like a joyful thing. Especially let's see it up close, going to those games. I mean, I missed that Nets team. I had to go back a memory lane because that team brought me so much joy. Love that team.
exactly.
Big facts, man. But
So,
we're gonna wrap it up, fellas, man.
You know,
This
before
was an
you,
awesome stream, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, gotta put this one out here, top five, man. Bought the energy, man. We all bought the energy tonight, man. Facts, you know what I'm saying? 5-1, you already know. You see it.
And soon to be,
Five
one,
and
yeah,
one, 6-1. You
so
know
we're
what I'm
by
saying?
the
6-1.
way, NYG, I fixed the whatchamacallit. I got it in, so I put it in the lounge. I sent it to y'all so y'all can see my video.
Got you. All
So
right,
On
bet.
Twitter. I'm sorry, I put it in Twitter. Sorry. So
Okay, I'm
y'all
definitely
can
gonna go
see
check
it
that
and
out.
see what
Got
I'm
it.
talking
Yeah,
about. So all right, that's about it. But yeah,
definitely.
great show. Appreciate it. So
Of course, man.
on the road
Always,
to
man.
15-2, 15-2.
Yep.
So
That's it, man. That's it, man. Let's
oh
just
my God,
Yeah,
let's
Giants
keep
Twitter will collapse if we go
the
15-2.
energy going. You know what I'm saying? Because look,
yep,
man, we deserve this, y'all. We've dealt with so many horrible years, man. So
Mm-hmm.
many embarrassing moments
Last
over
year
these
especially.
past, you know what I'm saying, 10 years pretty much out of the one
Mm-hmm.
outlier season.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely deserve this, man. So
You're welcome,
don't be
Levance.
afraid of the positivity, man. Shout out to Levance, man. Let me shout out my chat, man, before I get up out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? Big fan Breezy, of course, man. Always a good contributor to the show, as is my wife.
hmm
Of course, Coach on the panel. Got Levance. You know what I'm saying? Holding the chat down for us every single show, man. Shout
Mm-hmm.
out to you, brother. for real, man. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Wells, man, also, man, always
Yep.
holding us down, coming through, man. You know what I'm saying? His
Thank you,
squad.
Wells.
That's another one, man. Always coming through, man.
Good
You know what
stuff.
I'm saying?
Good spot, yep.
Dropping
I
in,
know
man.
you're excited about the Nets too, his squad. I know you're a big
Saying
Nets
what's
fan
up?
like myself and YG and Breezy
Yeah,
and
that's
Adam
right. We're
too.
gonna be lit. We're gonna be lit. Don't worry. Don't
It's gonna
worry.
be a good season. It's gonna be fun.
More is to come, man. Definitely, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And the reason I started this podcast, man, is because I felt that energy that New York sports was getting ready to take a turn, man. And I want to be the
Yep.
first one to jump on it, man. Look at us, man. We all happy. We all cheesing, smiling every time we come on this podcast. You know what I'm saying? Because our teams are doing very well right now. You know what I'm saying? Might not win the chip, but hey, we not a laughing stock anymore. You know what
No,
I'm saying? So that's
Yep.
definitely a big turnaround, man, from the
no more
past.
quarterback sneaks. No more quarterback sneaks anymore.
That's true.
We actually have
Mm-hmm.
a head
Exactly.
coach that can scheme players open. Just gotta
Right,
say
right,
that.
right. Shout out
Uh,
to Taj, man. You know what I'm saying, man.
mm-hmm.
Super Taj World, man. Always
Mm,
holding us down, man. And and Jay, man. Shout out to Jay, man. You know what I'm saying?
thank you, Jay.
A new a new subscriber, man. You know what I'm saying, man. And shout out to Kev, man. You know what I'm saying. Always holding us down too, man. Especially on Twitter, man. You know what I'm saying. That's my dude, man. But
Good luck to your Knicks.
yeah,
Yep.
man. Shout out to the Knicks. Shout out to
Hope
the
they
Nets.
win.
Shout out to
Yep.
the Jets, Giants, Yankees, Mets, Rangers, Islanders, Rutgers, Syracuse. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the WNBA, the Liberty. Anybody else
Mm-hmm.
I forgot? You know what I'm saying?
St.
Anybody else that I
John's.
did not that I forgot? I
Hockey.
apologize. You know what I'm saying? So much good positive vibes, man. Can't put it all in one show, man. We'll be out here for 10 hours. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
until next time, y'all, we getting up out of here. Peace.
Peace.